Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Hey!
Yay! We're back. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
We're pumped. We're excited. As always.
I've been working out.
You've been working out for this?
Yeah.
Been getting a good sweat going for this?
I'm so pumped up.
We're pumped. We're pumped. We're excited. Just want to thank, first of all, everyone for their iTunes reviews this week.
Yeah.
That was huge, and we appreciate it a ton. I'm telling you, the iTunes reviews help us immensely.
We're approaching 600. Help us crush it.
We are. Let's do this. Let's catch up to Small Town Murder, our other podcast.
Be
also,
nice.
Please do that. But if you haven't done it yet, if you're a new listener, just haven't gotten around to it yet, get on iTunes. We know it takes 30 seconds. You got to type in your password. Yeah. We get it, but just give us 5 stars. It helps us on the business end. Tell us anything.
It's a hassle.
Tell us you're following instructions, following directions.
Tell us you enjoy Coke. That's what James's shirt says right now.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Well, Coke that's appropriate for our criminal tonight. It's very appropriate.
It's appropriate for about 34 of these weeks.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of cocaine. Cocaine. We've noticed one thing: cocaine plus brain damage equals crime.
It sure does.
It absolutely does.
That's a hell of an equation.
Now, if you've given us the iTunes review and we thank you, or you don't feel like doing that, but you want to do something extra, you want to go the extra mile for us because we work our asses off for you.
Climb up the hill a little deeper.
You can do that. You can go to patreon.com/crime and sports, and you can donate. There's some cool rewards on there for you.
Help me get James some health insurance.
Please, I'd love some health insurance.
That'd be nice.
Yes, that'd be great. Also, too, if you just want to make a one-time donation, you can do that at PayPal. Our PayPal there is crimeandsports@gmail.com. Yes. Anything is appreciated, and just anything. iTunes reviews, whatever you want to do is so much appreciated by us. We just like the attention, so thank you, guys. We really do. Hope you enjoyed last week's Insanity also.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's what I said, too. Billy Ray Bates is... So out of that, I do want the shoes. Yeah. I am going to look for a pair of black Supermans. I'm going to get them eventually. I'll go find a pair of black Superman shoes. But other than that, holy shit, that guy was crazy. It was one of those stories. It wasn't.
It's just so goddamn sad.
It said it wasn't packed with crime so much as just nickery. Just
depressing.
Fuckery abounds.
How do you just completely lose your entire life?
Good God, what the hell is wrong with you?
Over what was it? It was just robbing a gas station?
Robbing a gas, but he had already screwed his life. He was gluing handles to briefcases for $7 an hour before he even did that. He was just a mess.
And then he throws away the super glue job to go rob a store.
And
it just gets worse.
Disaster. But like we said last week, listen to last week's episode, you can hire him if you want to come and speak at your event.
He's still alive.
He's still there.
He's still kicking.
He needs help, guys. Without further ado, though, let's get into tonight's winner.
Hold on, real quick. Let me tell you about this. A man named Bruno Fernando de Souza.
Bruno Fernandez de Souza.
That's
episode 5. Yeah. Don't they have milk bones in Brazil?
Right.
Check that out.
That asshole. If you check out the episode, he murders a woman. That's the sums it up. Yeah. A woman's dead. He goes to prison for it. He gets out. That was our last update, that he got out and he got signed to a team and he's now playing soccer. Well, guess what? The government of Brazil decided that's not a safe alternative.
No, they said, let's not have him out there.
And that's fucking exciting to me, that their government can parole somebody and then based on public outrage be like, maybe they're right.
Yeah, that's what it was too. It was all just based on the people seem to be upset about it. All right, let's call it that.
That's never happened here.
There was no legal reasoning or anything. They were like, I think we screwed up. Yeah, this is bad. They're pissed. Let's not do this.
The locals are stirring. They're not thrilled.
That's literally all it was, which is insane. But
so he's going back apparently.
Good.
Well deserved.
He killed a woman and fed her to a dog. That's not okay.
Even if he didn't have a hand in it, he was definitely there and he definitely ordered it. So, And that torture and
beyond.
That
was the culmination of other things that he did with this poor woman. So it was
The black market abortion pill is crazy.
Gunpoint black market abortion pills. That's a wild episode. It's one of our early ones, but it's wild, and you should really check it out. We have another wild one for you tonight. We really wow. That's all I have to say is wow. It is Charles Daniel Bennett Jr.
Oh, boy.
As we know,
that causes problems.
It causes problems.
It's known to cause problems.
Better known as Krazy Horse.
Oh, boy.
That is his nickname. He's an MMA fighter, and Krazy Horse is
Say the first name. Say the name again.
Charles Daniel Bennett.
I don't hear any Native American in that.
No. This is not the Native American, chief. This is not the shitty malt liquor.
Right.
This is a
crazy man.
This is a crazy man. Absolutely crazy. The craziness began on November 23rd, 1979, when he was born in Gainesville, Florida.
A bundle of joy for somebody.
Bundle of joy. And another Florida guy, too.
Yeah.
We've had a lot in Florida.
Gainesville, no less. That's another one.
Yeah. And he ends up moving, as we'll get into, he moves to Ocala, which is where Eddie Johnson was from. So there's a lot. This is we spend a lot of time in Ocala. Now, Junior, if you're a new listener, we've had an inordinate amount of people named with Junior in their name here. So we've just decided, as we know, if you name your child Junior, it is basically the equivalent of smoking crack while they're in the womb. That's all there is to it. Which is might be the case here, actually, because his mother, Charles' mother, was a complete crackhead.
Really?
So she named him Junior and probably smoked crack in the womb.
Awesome.
He had no chance.
And fetal alcohol syndrome. He had all of it.
Never a chance, this guy.
No.
Never a chance. Early, he lives with his mother in Gainesville until she is arrested on drug charges in 1985.
Oh, shit.
So he is no longer living with his mother. He moves in with his father in Ocala. Okay. He's the second of 11 children from his mother. 11 children, all different fathers.
Wow.
11 different fathers.
That is
11
amazing.
different children. That is incredible.
Is that a world record?
That's wild. You think
At least for American standards, that is that's impressive. That's a lot of fucking.
That's a lot of fucking. Now, either she is bad at birth control or they are, the couples when they have sex are bad at birth control. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Or. So she's either not very responsible or she's just a bad chick that doesn't take any shit from nobody. Nothing. She's not taking a goddamn lick of shit off of anybody. You get out of here, I'll find someone else to impregnate me, God damn it.
She spent 99 months pregnant.
99 months.
That is crazy.
That's a long time.
She spent more time pregnant than a lot of our criminals have spent in prison.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's nuts.
That's a sentence, being that pregnant. That is a sentence. Now,
good God.
Charles is the oldest boy of the group. The first one was a girl, so he's the oldest boy, and he said he had to get into a lot of fights for his siblings to, I don't know, to protect them or whatever the hell it might be. He also said, but he didn't see them very often. Okay. When he did, he was fighting for them. He said, we have in their own words here, and we have a lot of in their own words. And we could have had the whole story could have just been in their own words.
He could have just told the whole thing.
He could have told the whole story. I had to really pick and choose and find, and there's still a ton of them. But
I love it.
We have an in their own words on his upbringing and his siblings, and this what he says here is a good indication of the kind of person we're dealing with here.
Okay.
In their own words, quote, I didn't grow up with them. We were spread out. The government does things to kids while they're growing up to make them the way they are. Who do you fault?
What?
So he's blaming the government.
For mom smoking crack and having 11 kids?
Apparently for moving him around. I don't know. I don't know what he could possibly mean by that. But he lives with his father through his childhood, so I don't know what he means about the government. It's odd. When he grows up, too, full-sized, he's 5'5", $145.
Oh, my God.
He's a tiny guy.
Yeah.
He's a little dude. A badass, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
An absolute menace to society.
5'5" can probably still beat the living shit out of me.
Oh, he would destroy both of us together. He's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. I was actually listening to, doing research, I saw a clip of a Joe Rogan podcast where he was talking about him. And the guy on the show with him was like, yeah, man, you see this guy, like if you saw him outside of a store, you'd be like, oh, this guy looks like a little squirrely crackhead or something. And then he would beat the shit out of you. He's like, he's that tough. Like
just a monster.
He's a monster. Now, in high school, he said a lot of people supported him because he was a good football player. He played football in high school, was very good at it.
Running back.
He was a running back, linebacker, and he even claims, he insists that he played on the defensive line as well.
What?
I don't know how you would play on the defensive line.
I mean, in high school, well, He wasn't 5'5" in high school.
No, he's probably 5'2" at this point.
That's crazy.
Because he is kicked off the team in his sophomore year. So this is before his sophomore year. He was playing that.
He was so little.
He's a really, really impressive athlete. He's if you're a high school kid and you're this athletic, you're going to be a good football player, period. Okay. You're just that good. But he drops out, or he gets kicked off the team in his sophomore year, and decides that he should probably start selling cocaine.
That's a good plan.
And concentrate on it. That's a good plan. He said a lot of people supported him because of football and stuff. So he's like, I didn't have to sell cocaine. I could have just concentrated on that, but for some reason, did it anyway.
Coke seemed to work.
The story of this asshole's life. Don't know why I did it, but I did it anyway. He drops out of school as a junior after his dad kicks him out of the house.
Okay.
So his dad kicks him out. He drops out, and now what's he going to do? Obviously, he's going to sell more fucking cocaine because now he needs a place to stay.
No reason to not.
Now he has to.
Yeah.
Now in 1996, he's 17 years old. He is arrested. We have an early crime, boy.
My God.
He gets arrested early, often, and throughout.
Yeah.
So let's keep going. He's arrested for aggravated battery at age 17. So,
wow.
He's an angry kid.
That's a really steep charge for a 17-year-old.
That's pretty good. That's a felony, I think. That's not a great one to have on your record at 17.
Anything aggravated, that sounds a little steep.
Sounds bad at that point. The charges are eventually dropped against him, so he gets out of that. I don't know.
No proof.
No proof, no nothing, no whatever. I don't know if they just said, never mind.
Right.
A lot of cases in the system. Who knows? So he keeps going. He's selling cocaine. He's doing his thing. He's living out there. Yeah. And it's funny, too, because he's not like he said his siblings are spread out. He goes and lives with his dad, so he's the only one from his dad, so it's not like he's going to have siblings there. So it's not like he's really, I need to support my little brother or, some shit like that. It's not like that at all.
He has to take care of himself.
He has to take care of himself and get through it, and he's going to do it by selling cocaine, apparently. 1998 now. He's, 19 years old. Yeah. He's arrested and charged with possession of cocaine, which this is going to happen. Charge eventually later in the year gets dismissed.
Okay.
So he's lucky so far.
So now you got a guy that's 19 years old that's been arrested twice on very serious charges and been dropped both times.
Yes.
And he's a great athlete. He's a tough dude. This is a man that's definitely got an ego about him now.
Oh, huge ego. And also, too, he's doing great, right? This is good.
Yeah.
He's beating it at this point.
He's winning.
I think everything's going to turn out fine, Jimmy.
It's got to.
I think he's going to go on. He's going to have a strong career, and we're going to be like, that was not a lot of crime, and he got it over with by the time he was 19, and he's having a great life, and you guys have a good night, and thank you very much. Welcome.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Crime and Sports, right? That's how it's going to go?
It's got to.
I don't know. Later on, he says that he's a big drug dealer when he was a kid. He's bragging about how much of a drug dealer he said. He said, quote, "If you come to my hood and ask about Krazy Horse, they'll tell you about my destruction." My destruction? What the fuck was he doing?
Yeah.
Apparently he said he was very tough and very, who knows what he was doing out in the streets.
Just beating everything.
Beating everybody that he could find, and God knows what else he's doing. Who knows? It's the late 90s. It's not like it's the 70s.
Yeah, this is the era that I grew up in. Like this, I can recall this very vividly.
Shooting, stabbing. I mean, if you're dealing drugs hard, you've got to be pretty tough with that.
At this point, he's rocking to Big Pimpin', and he's living a life.
Yeah, absolutely. So 98, later on in the year, because he's already been arrested now once for possession of cocaine in 98. He is arrested again in 1998. This is 3 already. We're 12, 13 minutes into this bad boy. So, he's
3 solid, sturdy arrests.
He's a worker, this guy. Let me tell you something. He's arrested for possession of cocaine, plus he's adding some more now. Intent to sell, which is a bigger one.
That's a problem.
Grand theft, and possession of less than 20 grams of marijuana.
Okay.
Altogether, there was 4 felony charges and 1 misdemeanor. Okay. He received adjudication withheld on the 4 felony charges. So basically, they don't do shit. They're going to hold off and see if you fuck up more, and then they can reconstitute the charges.
Okay.
Is what it is.
He's gotten really fucking lucky.
I would say so. I don't know why he's so lucky. This is 3 charges now that could have, any of which could have sent him to prison. Yeah. And he is fine out of this.
Generally they, but now he's an adult too. Like on the other one, on the aggravated assault, like that was when he was a minor.
Yeah.
But now these 2 are both as an adult, and like now they don't have to look at what's going on at home. And before, when they were looking at home, like they see a single father,
Jesus, they felt
crackhead
bad.
mom that had 11 kids. Like this kid's gonna be a little fucked up. Let's see how he. Now it's like you're a problem to society.
All I can think is that it's hard to explain. Especially too. We're going to profile this guy. We're going to read all this. I'm going to, tell you quotes. I'm going to tell you when he's been arrested and crazy shit that he did, and you're going to go, God, he sounds like such an asshole and such a scumbag. But besides the obvious things that he's going to do that are horrible, he's very likable. Otherwise,
I don't see how at this point.
He's got a big personality. He's one of these guys, especially fighting-wise.
Yeah.
I don't even really like MMA that much. I'm not a big fan. I mean, it's fine and everything, but I'm not a huge MMA fan. His fights were fucking awesome.
Really?
I couldn't stop watching them. Like, they were so entertaining.
I may have to go back and
he's
look.
an entertaining cat.
Okay.
He really is. Joe Rogan, like, back in that same thing, he said he's one of the most entertaining fighters he's ever seen in MMA. And he's a badass.
How do you do that? And we'll get to it, I imagine.
Because he's crazy. He has no filter.
How
He'll
do
go
you
out.
do that and just...
He'll aggravated assault somebody. He'll sell cocaine. He'll flip off the top of the cage.
Jesus.
Talk shit. He just
he
just lives.
Man.
He just lives in the fast lane all the time. Now, 1999, in between, he had a couple little stints in jail in 99.
Okay.
In between these, he sees an ad in a newspaper for an MMA gym. And he didn't know much about it, but he thought it sounded pretty cool, and he signs up. He goes down to the gym, he signs up, he gets into fighting. He's starting to think, oh, this is interesting, something I can do. But he's also still mainly concentrating on selling cocaine because that's his living.
He's still selling cocaine, and he's focused on fighting.
That's his living. Well, he's just training in a gym, screwing around, and then he's, he's also fighting. He's also selling cocaine.
In case he has to rough somebody up for not paying.
That's right. You might as well know how to protect yourself. But he makes his pro debut, fighting-wise, MMA. So he said once they got in the gym, he's naturally a gifted guy. Yeah. He's just athletic. He's gifted naturally. So they said, holy shit, you're insanely fast. Yeah. You're really good at this. You hit like a truck. Yeah. Like this. You're good. But I mean, he trained for like 6 months and making a pro fight. Okay. And that was it. And he's not big on training either, as we get into later.
Yeah.
His pro fight is September 1st, 1999 in Georgia. It's at the Lionheart Invitational. That's the name of the event that he's doing.
Sounds cool.
He fights a guy named John Swift, who is a non-linker. Okay. And if you're new to the show, whenever we have fighters, MMA or boxers, if you look them up on like Wikipedia, the list of fights, there are guys that you can click on, and then there's guys who...
The blue ones and the black ones.
May never have existed. They just, for all intents and purposes, they're gone.
It could just be a black typed up name that nobody knows who the fuck that is.
So that's going to be a non-linker. Okay. Those are people who were like, it's not probably the best fighter if they didn't even bother to make a link to to anything. So he fights a non-linker named John Swift. Charles loses this fight, his debut, loses in the first round by submission to a rear naked choke, which is a move that he'll lose several fights.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. He was susceptible to that for some reason.
Fascinating.
So he's 0-1 at that point. So MMA didn't go exactly how he planned, but he's still got his cocaine enterprise on the side.
Thank God.
So let's all praise, he's doing fine. He's doing great. Until 2000.
Okay.
The next year when he's arrested for possession and sale of cocaine in Florida. Again. This is when life changes a little bit for him.
Why is he going down to Florida?
It's where he lives. He's from Ocala.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got to stay in Florida and fuck up because he's in Florida. That's what people do when they're in Florida.
You do.
It's what one does when they go to Florida, Jimmy.
Like one in Rome.
Absolutely. So he says he's arrested at this point, and he says, look, this is it. I am going to change my life. Okay? Changing my life. It's around this time, too, in 2000 that he has a daughter. Okay. His daughter is born. Or his son was born first, and then his daughter's born in 2000. So at this point now, he's got 2 kids.
Jesus.
2 kids, and he decides to focus on fighting full time.
I mean, this is the smartest thing he's done yet.
I would. Brain damage is preferable to prison. Yeah. So let's go out and get that brain damage. Right. Go out, bang your head into the wall. We don't care. It's fine. At least you're not hurting anybody who didn't sign up for it and who's being paid.
And you're making money that can be taxed, and you're providing taxed income to a family and raising kids.
And sad as it is, or whatever, it's actually much safer than selling drugs also. And this is what he says. He says he didn't want to be killed or locked up selling drugs and have 2 kids.
That makes sense.
So, which is actually a responsible thing to say. And if he actually stuck to that, I'd say good for you. Right. You did a good thing. He's starting to get his head out of his ass. But the problem is, this is what he says. And a lot of times, as we'll find out, what he says and what he does are 2 really different things, like extremely different.
It's like an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Now, we have an in their own words on his life change here. Right. In their own words, quote, I quit selling dope and started fighting full time, but I never took it seriously. It was just that I was good at it, so I felt that I didn't have to train. Okay. Which is not a good thing if you're going to be a professional fighter. No. Nobody's that naturally talented where they don't have to train. There's guys who are just as naturally talented who train all day, every day. Right. So you have to be both.
Muhammad Ali trained every single day.
You have to train.
To be great.
Mike Tyson trained every day.
Every day.
The greatest natural puncher in the history of the world trained constantly.
Every day.
Yeah. When he did take a little light, he got beat by Buster Douglas, who was a tub of shit.
There you go.
So that tells you right there. a lot. So on August 4th, 2000, still had the cocaine charge over his head, the sale and possession.
Right.
He is convicted of sale and possession of cocaine in Marion County, Florida. So he picked a good time to turn his life around after he was already fucked it up almost irreparably. But I don't think he does any jail time.
Really?
I don't know if he got probation or what the deal was, but he is fighting on August 26th, 2000.
Way to go, Florida.
So that is 3 weeks later. He's in the ring or in the octagon or in the whatever, however you want to say.
He's throwing punches one way or another.
He's trying to beat the shit out of another guy. He's at the World Extreme Fighting, the WEF New Blood Conflict, it's called. He fights a guy named Todd Carney, and he beats his ass.
Really?
Yeah. Charles has a good fight here.
Is he a non-linker?
He's a non-linker, yeah. Todd Carney's an odd linker, but I did see the footage from the fight, and he roughs him up pretty good and then slams the shit out of him.
Awesome.
Body slams him like nobody's business. And
I love those.
That's the end of the fight. It's a KO. 2:21 in the first round.
Wow.
2 minutes, 21 seconds in the first round. So
great.
A lot of first-round knockouts for him and a lot of he's either going to knock – his conditioning makes it so he's either going to knock you out or it's going to go past the first 2 minutes and then you're going to get him in a submission because he's tired. That's basically how his career
That's what happens when you don't train.
That's exactly the point here.
Right.
He does have a revelation later on, but doesn't do much.
Okay.
So like I said, he has a daughter in 2000 also. So he's got a lot going on. A fighting career, a new daughter, cocaine charges. He's got a
He's got a life.
He's got a
some
full
responsibilities.
Plate. He's got a real full plate here. So on December 16th, 2000, pretty soon after that, down in Florida still. I don't know if he's allowed to leave the state yet. There's the WEF Rumble at the Rodeo 1.
Okay.
That's the event he's fighting at. He fights a linked opponent here. He fights a man named Rich Clementi, who's actually seems like he's a very experienced fighter in the end. Clementi was 4-5 coming into the fights. They were both pretty new. Clementi ended up being 45-23-1.
That's not so bad.
Which isn't a terrible record, and he's a vet. You know, he's a guy that can fight. Charles loses by submission in the first round here. Again, submission. He gets caught with it. He's not really a good mat fighter. He's a stand-up. When you look at all the MMA things, they say style of fighter. It's street is what
they called it street.
They call it street, basically, because he's just.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
He looks like he's got in basically he looks like a guy who you got in a fight with on the line at 7-Eleven, and he's like, put your hands up, motherfucker, and he's like, that's how he fights.
The guy's like, I was standing here, and he's like, no, you weren't.
No, that's how he fights.
Now we fight.
It's insane. That's how he fights. He fights like he's just on the street. Wow. It doesn't look like he just happens to be in a ring with gloves on. It's really weird.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody whose style was quote unquote street.
Yeah, that's exactly how I describe it.
That's wild.
He just looks like he's just put your hands up.
That's shocking.
What he wants to do. He just wants to get you here. So yeah, he lost there. Now he's 1-2. He fights two fights. He wins in March and April 2001, both against non-linkers. One's in Georgia, one's in Kissimmee, Florida, the garden center of the world, obviously. Everyone, go to Kissimmee. Don't go to Kissimmee. It's horrible. You don't want to be there.
It's a lot of travelers, though. It's a lot of from the north traveling south and just visiting. And
I remember the commercials for tourism for Kissimmee.
Come to Kissimmee.
Ugh. So both of these fights are KOs. One is with punches and one is a corner stoppage.
Okay.
And he gets a guy in the corner and works him over. Both of them are in round 3. So he actually makes it to round 3.
How about that?
He's fighting non-linked tomato cans, but he's making it to round 3. So that's fine. He's 3-2 now coming in. So he's starting to get in here. Now 2001. He is arrested again.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to give you a guess what he's arrested for.
Cocaine,
but I thought he cleaned it up. He said, but his kids, Jimmie. Well, no.
Oh, it's so depressing.
Oh, poor guy. No, he's not cleaning shit up, basically. He's arrested for possession of cocaine. He's found guilty of possession of cocaine, but he keeps going.
Really?
There's no consequences. What happens?
What are they doing?
This is his 4th time he's been arrested for cocaine.
So much for a war on drugs.
War on anything. How about just, hey, asshole, stop having cocaine on you constantly,
war on
you jackass.
dickheads.
Yeah, that's better. But he's fighting August 4th, 2001. He is in San Jacinto, California. It's the KOTC, the King of
Jacinto.
Jacinto. I don't know how the fuck you say that shit.
Right.
I have no idea. He's he fights the King of the Cage, the KOTC 10. Critical Mass is the name of it. Fights a guy named Dwayne Ludwig, who's a linked fighter.
All
again.
right.
He's 21-14 all time. He comes into the fight 5-2. Dwayne Ludwig, decent fighter. Charles loses again by submission, And they call this one exhaustion. That's what that's the
How
submission.
much does that suck?
So I don't know if he just gave up or I don't know what it was. Just fell down and tapped out where the guy wasn't touching him. But he doesn't train.
I wish I'd have seen that fight because that never happens in the UFC on the TV ones, the ones that are broadcast.
No, it's insane. This was only in round 2. Okay, 238 in round 2. He must have just blown up throwing punches in round 1 and then just couldn't do anything anymore. So now he's 3-3. Yeah. So his fighting career isn't going. It's going about as well as his drug dealing career. Yeah. Really, he's got 2 shit careers paralleling each other at the same time, not doing too spectacular for themselves. September 2001 to November 2001, he fights 5 times in this period. So yeah, he's including 3 fights in the month of November.
September to November,
he fights 3 times in November.
Wow.
He fights once on the 15th of November and another time on the 17th of November.
What?
That's 2 days apart. You cannot fight.
That's what?
That's batshit.
The swelling hasn't even gone down.
Nope.
He's still red. He's still soaked in sweat.
I don't understand how this is possible. I would think he'd still be tired from that.
Yeah.
Like you'd still be kind of muscles,
definitely
soreness,
sore,
exhaustion, feeling like that. It's something.
If he lost that fight to exhaustion, he's definitely losing this one.
Shit, no doubt. But he wins all 5 of these fights from November to September 2001 to November. Maybe the terrorist attacks emboldened him. I'm not sure what it is. He got jacked up by them and got pissed off. I don't know what happened.
What do you think the money is for those?
I have no idea. I mean, he said he's making a living pro fighting now. There's no.
Maybe it's like $1,000 to fight.
I have no idea. These are all these first ones too. They're not major companies. He's fighting on Indian reservations, on casinos. He's fighting it basically like the casino India, like what Jared Wyatt, episode 53, I think, the guy who cut his friend's heart out, kind of what he was fighting, like in a parking lot. A ring set up in a parking lot of a casino.
But it's it kind of matters.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of these fights, too, back then, this is when UFC wasn't what it was now and MMA wasn't what it was now. Like a lot of these states, it was outlawed. Okay. And the only way you could fight there is on the Indian reservation. Gotcha. So that's how they would do it. They would set it up in a casino.
There's got to be some cash involved.
There has to be, but I don't see how.
I can't imagine it's crazy. Right. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody's coming. So all these, 4 of these guys are non-linkers of the 5 that he beats. One was an actual linker named Gerald Straybrent, who was 9-7 in his career. Nothing special. The 5th fight was a submission with a heel hook versus Andrades Brito, which he's expanding his game. That's his first submission.
With a heel hook.
So he's learning. He's learning. Yeah. This is good. So he's 8-3 now. Now that's reputable. And plus, he's won 5 in a row. He can even say, like, hey, look, I didn't know what I was doing at first.
Right.
I was new. I didn't train for 5 years and then get into this.
Takes me a minute to get into this.
I got into this. Plus, I was selling cocaine on the side. Right. I got kids. I got
extracurriculars.
I got shit going on, man. I lead a full life. Yes. You understand? Just a full life. 2002. He is arrested in 2002. So his fight career is starting to pick up and things are starting to go well for him. So he needs to get arrested. He might as well get married. Yeah. When things are, so that would be the only other stupid thing. He got arrested, though. He gets arrested.
Jesus.
For aggravated battery.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good, right?
I mean, it's different.
Okay, let's continue the game. Yeah. Since I've been asking you to guess things, who do you think he aggravatedly battered?
Is it a wife?
It's not a wife.
Is it a girlfriend?
It is a pregnant woman.
Oh my God!
A pregnant woman.
What kind of monster?
Well, he also it's also alleged that he choked her, and it was for like a strangulation assault. So he is beating and choking pregnant women in 2002. So this is what I'm saying. If he wasn't beating and choking pregnant women, you'd be like, this guy's got a fun personality. Right. But then he goes and beats and punches and chokes pregnant women. So not fun anymore.
He's fighting, and like you don't have all your aggression out in the ring. You've got to go beat up a pregnant woman.
That's the thing. Well, Christ, this is the other thing we're going to talk about. And I don't know how to do this, but his mother was a hardcore crackhead. Right. A crackhead. So was his father. They're both crack addicts.
And he's seen his mom pregnant so many times.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not doubting that his mother smoked crack while she was pregnant with him, which would, not help his situation.
Slow down the brain function a little bit.
Yeah, and then you add in the fact that he is fighting all the time and taking blows to the head and things like that, and you're like, he might not be that stable mentally. Yeah. Also, too, he's probably doing drugs on top of it. He keeps getting busted with coke. I don't know if he's doing it. I don't know what he's doing. If he's all jacked up and... That's the only thing I could think of that would make you choke a pregnant woman. Yeah. If you were just jacked on coke and pissed off and, I got to choke her. I'm going to beat this pregnant. I'm going to aggravatedly batter this pregnant woman.
I mean, that's the only time that Oh, God, that sounds so terrible. I was going to say that's the only time that my wife ever got a pass. But it sounds like I beat
like you're beating
But I mean,
her.
like, that's the
Every
only time.
other time, it's the back of the hand, huh,
No,
Jimmy?
but like generally when fights would start when she was pregnant, I'd be like, "You're pregnant. How can we even argue? I don't want you. I don't want your blood pressure.
Yeah, calm
blood
down.
pressure to raise."
We'll settle it here. I'll mark it on the calendar.
Right.
We'll do it in about 6
we'll
months.
argue this whenever that thing's out.
Yeah, when it pops out, then we'll talk about it.
I just can't imagine an argument escalating so much that you choke a woman that's pregnant. That's crazy.
Or a woman that's not pregnant, but especially...
I mean, you know what I mean?
You have a point. Guys, everybody.
I'm just saying.
Crime and sports movement. Don't hit or choke women, please.
Don't bother
and
with
them.
And
if you do, make sure that they're not pregnant. Actually, don't at all. Just don't. Not
hit
if
them.
you do.
Just don't choke them, don't hit them.
And then also, if they're pregnant, go the extra mile.
Take that anger that you have for her and wait till your next UFC fight and take it out on that guy.
That's the thing. You're going to get in the ring again. Yeah. You can go spar. Go spar with someone and knock the hell out of them.
So crazy.
It's insane. So June 29th, 2002, he's got another chance. This
Jesus.
is what I mean. Wait till WEFC, which is the World Extreme Fighting Championship 1, Bring It On is the name of it. They had a giant cheerleader cheer off beforehand. I can only assume.
Stomp the yard competition.
I can only assume Kirsten Dunst was there to really throw it down. This is in Georgia.
Saved by the urban fellas.
Yeah, exactly.
So dumb. What a dumb movie.
Again, is that a 90s movie?
Yeah,
Did we do it again?
Yeah.
God damn it. It might be 2000. I'm not sure. So this is in Georgia. He fights another non-linker. He's got to get his confidence up here. He fights Rick Davis and loses a unanimous decision.
Uh-oh.
He goes the distance, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
He didn't just fall down
His stamina's up.
Submit from well, he's been sparring with pregnant ladies. That's what it is. He's like, something about fighting with pregnant women is they have stamina.
You bet.
And, you got to get around
They'll
them and dance.
rope-a-dope.
They'll rope-a-dope you. They'll rope-a-dope you. We're laughing at him
So
beating up a pregnant woman.
ridiculous.
But Jesus Christ, he's an asshole at this point. I'm sorry, he is. We're mad at him, trust me.
He's a real twat.
Want to get even madder?
Yeah.
Late 2002, the aggravated battery charge against the pregnant woman was dropped.
Get out of here.
Drop the charge.
How do you drop that?
I don't know if it was her or if they didn't have evidence, or I don't know. It might have been her saying, I changed my mind. I'm not pressing. I don't know how you'd even have the choice to press charges if you're a pregnant woman who's getting beat up.
Yeah, the state should just be like, we're pressing him whether you like it or not.
Yeah, take the onus off of her.
Right.
Don't make her press charges. Go, if you're beat up by a guy, we'll take care of this shit.
It's ours.
Yeah, let's go. If you beat up a pregnant woman, too, I think they should be able to rough you up a little bit.
I feel like the taser shouldn't even just be an option. It should be like, you hit her? Sorry, man, I got to hit you with this.
I got to tase you. I'm sorry. That was a real dick move.
I've got to get you with this.
That was shitty.
Yeah.
She's
Take
pregnant.
Your pants
You know
off.
that,
I'm
right?
going to hit you in the sack.
Yeah, so he no fights between June 2002 and September 2003. He had some legal issues and had a probation thing and in and out of jail. And he's got some issues in this time period from June to September of 2002 to 2003. So he has like a year where it's not going well.
It doesn't go right.
No, he's in jail, and I wish I knew exactly when he was in jail and when he's not, but I could not find that information.
Okay.
And his criminal record, and as far as details like that, are very sketchy, and I had to really dig deep to find what I found. It's wild. I had to dig super
Florida?
deep. I don't know what it is, if it's Florida or what, because other states there was more things that he did. There's more details about that we'll get into.
Okay.
And some of the things he just gives you all the details.
Awesome.
Which is fun too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But no fights in there. But from September 2003 to June 2004, he has 4 fights, all versus non-linkers. 3 of them are in California. 1 of them is in Florida. All wins.
Oh.
So he's padding his record. 2 of them by decision, 2 of them by first-round knockout. So very different fights with all these fights. That's he's trying. He's building. He's building. Now, August 2004, after that, to November 2004, he loses 3 fights in a row.
Okay.
So wins 4, loses 3.
Loses 3.
First fight is against Takumi Nakayama, who's a former King of Pancrase featherweight champion. So he was a decent fighter. The second fight was in Japan.
Okay.
How the fuck does this guy get a passport?
Yeah, how do you get out of the country with all that?
How do you have a passport? I know people who had some disorderly conduct 10 years ago, and they can't get into Canada. I'm not even kidding.
Can't even get into Canada?
They can't get into Canada because of a disorder. There's a famous story.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was doing research for Ion Crotoru episode, which is amazing, you should go back and listen to Ion Crotoru episode.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's terrifying.
He's a wrestler. So I was listening to Jim Cornette, a podcast where he was talking about Ion Crotoru, and he's an old wrestling manager, and he was explaining how he tried to go to Canada for some matches that he was working for a company that was going up in Canada, and he could not get into Canada because they found an arrest from 1984. This was in 2012.
You're talking about 16 years ago. No, 26 years ago.
Yeah, 26. Yeah.
And he couldn't get in because
he couldn't get into Canada from
disorderly conduct.
And it was from him and everybody got arrested because during a wrestling match. After the wrestling match, this was back in the 80s when people thought wrestling was real, like in the South especially, they thought it was real. They got attacked by a bunch of fans, and they had a huge brawl.
I love that so much.
It's
in
amazing.
The South, people thought
they did.
I get it.
And
no,
it was also...
It just sounds hilarious.
Yeah, and it wasn't their fault, too. They also did a different style of wrestling down there that looked a lot more real. I will say that. Like, if you look at the old NWA style as compared to, like, the WWE, WWF back then style, they look a lot different.
The telegraphed punch rather than...
Yeah, these guys also were like, they didn't look all muscle jacked up. Most of them were like kind of had a little beer belly. They looked like just some tough guy at the bar.
Yeah.
So that's people believed
somebody
it a
in
little
overalls.
Bit more. Exactly. They believed it a little bit more. And you had Ric Flair with his chops that you could hear from the back row. Things like that made you believe it a little bit more. But yeah, he couldn't get in because of a fight with fans in 1984.
Ridiculous.
He was trying to explain it to him. I'm in wrestling. We get attacked back in the day. That's from 20. What are you talking about? And they're like, nope, sorry. Turned his ass back around, sent him back to Detroit. It's like, wow.
You're on a horse in a fucking Red Ranger Rick outfit, and I just can't come in for one fight and leave? That's all I want.
Yeah, that's, oh my God. And if you've ever heard anything that Jim Cornette ever did, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall while he berated these people and called them fucking exactly what you just said, because... Yeah, you guys are always saying you like my rants. Right. Holy shit, his rants
that much better, huh?
Oh, it's like 20 minutes at a time. He doesn't need air. He just goes. And it's got
does it in one breath.
Oh, it's got like a high pitched Southern accent. It's called the Jim Cornette Experience.
Wait.
It's on actually on Audio Boom and on iTunes everywhere you want to be. So check that out. It's kind of fun. Anyway, moving on here. Okay. So yeah, he fights these guys. Somehow he gets to goddamn Japan. How the fuck are they letting this maniac in? And they continue to let him in for 15 more years, 10 more years. It's nuts. Both of these are first-round the first two fights are first-round submissions, and then the third fight's a second-round submission. So now he's at 12-7 is his record. So his record's never really
It's not staggering, but he's still winning 12 fights is pretty good.
I couldn't win 12 fights. I'm not winning unless they're against you or, You might win 12 too.
Yeah, I might give you a run. Who
50-50 on them. So February 5th.
Not if you start boxing, though. You're a boxer.
Yeah, I can box okay.
I can bite. That's about it.
I got to reach on you, too. Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to be sliding in. That's
You're
what I'm
going to be sliding in. All right, guys.
I'm going to be going low blows. I'm swinging at dicks.
Enough Patreon money. We will fight. How's that? If we hit a certain amount, we'll fight in the ring. We're going to work it like crazy,
we'll figure
too.
it out.
Yeah, this is going to be a wrestling match.
We're going to sell the shit out of it.
Guys, if we can get to, we'll decide the amount later, but if we can get to a certain amount on Patreon, we're going to have a fight.
I'll fight James.
We're going to do it. We're going to put it out there. We'll put the video out for you guys.
James is going to need health insurance just in case.
That's the other thing.
I might get a sucker punch in.
We'll
be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
So let's build it up. Let's build it up till I get health insurance, and then we'll fight. Once I get health insurance, we're fighting. God damn it. I can kick you in the nuts for all your fucking puns for the last 25 episodes. You asshole. That's what you're getting.
That'd be so much fun.
Pun kicks. Pow.
Yeah.
So he's fighting now February 5th, 2005. He's down in Mexico.
Okay.
Again, leaving the country, but Mexico, they don't care. They'll let whoever in there.
A little. When was it? 2005.
2005.
That's when that drug war was going on.
Yeah,
though.
this is post 9/11.
Yeah,
it's still post 9/11.
This is a scary place to be.
Oh yeah, it's scary down there. But he's going down to fight. It's the King of the Cage 47 uprising.
All right.
He fights Victor Hernandez.
All right.
He wins a first round KO in 11 seconds.
Okay.
And it's a slam. So
That's
he basically punched this guy, grabbed him, dropped him, fight over. That was the fight.
Done.
Very, very fast. And he's got a couple fights like this. He improves his record to 13-7.
Okay.
Now, February and March 2005 has a loss versus a guy named Forrest Petz and has a draw against Gabe Rivas. So he's 13-8-1. Now, May 2005 to July 2005, he wins his next three fights. He's very up and down. Just like his behavior, his mental makeup, everything is just really up and down.
Everything in his life, he can't just be consistent. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down.
And when you see interviews with him, too, I don't know if he's bipolar or what, but like when you see interviews with him, he's either like really up and just and he's real animated and doing shit, or else he's like, yo man, blah 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 blah.
He's either on coke or going through a withdrawal.
That's it. He's either on coke or he ate like 5 weed candy bars. Either one. Like those are his only two speeds.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if it's a mental thing or if he's got, like I said, who knows if he got hit in the head and then talked slowly. I don't even know. So May 2005 to July 2005, he wins his next 3 fights. Like I said, only one of them against a linker, but still, that's one. Yeah. 2 by KO, or 2 by TKO, 1 by KO. He has a draw in August of 2005 after that, so he's 16-8-1. Okay. So he's trying here. He's working it, or 16-8-2. I apologize.
I mean, for every win or every loss, he's got 2 wins. So that's that's fine
for now.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's okay.
60%. He's doing all right.
In MMA, this isn't like boxing.
Right.
Boxing, once a guy takes a loss, you're just like, screw that guy, never mind. Like,
no contender.
It's not like that in boxing. Like in boxing, if you're going to be a title contender, you got to come up. You got to be 23-0.
Right.
You have to be,
2 losses at best.
Yeah, you're done.
Otherwise, it's just like a joke.
It's a joke. Yeah, you can't have. But in MMA,
got 6 losses. This isn't a contender.
It's true.
Right.
I mean, people look at Muhammad Ali's career and they're like, he had like 6 losses. Right. And you're like, yeah, but he had 60 wins and 63 wins or whatever.
It was at the end.
It was at the end, and he was all against great fighters. Right. So it's like, you got beat
that's when
by
he realized he's going to
Frazier, for Christ's sake, you know what I mean? And he got beat by Trevor Berbick, too. But that was at the very end.
The last.
Go back and listen to Trevor Berbick about 3 weeks ago there. Special guest Dan Cummins.
You betcha.
So it's different in MMA. You can lose a bunch and win a bunch, and it's kind of, because it's so quick that you can just get, it's not even, I hate to say this, but it's not even a matter, it is a matter of skill, like when they're grappling, but when they're standing, it's so just...
You can catch a stray foot and it's over.
That's what I mean. And it could be a guy who's not a very good fighter can catch someone who is. It's a very even playing field when it comes to that shit. And
they're fast with those feet.
And a guy who's a great puncher, some guy could just hook him real quick and get him in a submission. It's over with. I mean, it's exciting for that reason.
Right.
It really is. His fights are weird too because there's a lot of dancing because people are afraid of his hands.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dancing, and then there's always like a 2-second interaction, fight's over. Like that's a lot of his fights.
That's great.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Now from 2002 to 2007, this period, he's arrested a bunch. And we don't have the particulars of these arrests. I have like a batch of arrests, basically.
Awesome.
Like he was arrested for this, and this from this time period. And I looked goddamn it high and low. You have no idea. I mean, Florida court records, other states. I'm like, he was in Georgia to fight. Maybe he was there. You know how many Charles Bennetts there are in the world?
That's got to be crazy.
A shitload of them. It's much easier when I'm looking for an Art Schleister than when I'm looking for...
Ion Crotour.
When I'm looking for a Charles Bennett, it's not that easy anymore. There's a shitload of them, as we'll find out later.
Searching every orange tree in Florida.
That's what I mean.
For a record that just blew in.
Just who knows?
Hey guys, we're just going to break away from the show for just a second to tell you about another sponsor of ours. They're a fantastic watch company called Lord Timepieces.
LordTimepieces.com. They're so good. You want to go there now and enter promo code CRIME. That will get you 10% off.
And free shipping.
Free shipping.
It's amazing.
Worldwide free shipping. They are a London-based fashion brand, affordable watches, reasonable prices, free shipping. Watches start at around $70 US. Classic design, quality construction, and styled minimalism is what they're going for.
Don't be a nut that spends all kind of money
ridiculous.
on a watch.
My
James
watch
is wearing
awesome.
one right now. It's black. It's got blue arms.
It's so
It tells time, and it's beautiful. It looks
slick,
fantastic.
It's slick looking, and they are at a great price. They have sold watches throughout all time zones. Lord Timepieces makes it easy and very affordable for you to get a great watch.
Just go. Go shop. Go look. They're fantastic. LordTimepieces.com. Promo code CRIME.
It's fantastic. These watches start, like I said, only $70. Online ordering, super easy. The look and style of these watches is phenomenal. I've been complimented. Like I said, my watch, I wear it. People compliment it all the time. It's really great. You really want to do that. At the department store, you'd be looking at spending like $400 or $500 on a watch like this. But Lord Timepieces cuts out the middleman to provide the best price to their customers. Fabulous in the way they look and perform. Classic design, quality construction, styled minimalism. They look and feel magnificent. Once again, you get 10% off of your order with free shipping included if you order from LordTimepieces.com, promo code CRIME. Now back to the show. During this time period, though, he's arrested for burglary multiple times.
What?
He's arrested for possession of MDMA.
Oh,
so
God.
He's taking ecstasy, too, on top of everything, his cocaine and everything else. Possession of that. Also arrested for assault during this time period.
Of course.
So, and I think there's 5-6 arrests, but that's the group of charges that he accumulates. From August 2005 to September 2005, he has a draw and then 2 straight losses.
After all of this?
Yeah, Yeah, he's getting arrested. He's losing fights. He's really up and down, this guy. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like in his head. It's got to be exhausting.
Oh, my God.
That's the other thing. Like, what the fuck?
The
How
chemicals
exhausting can
running
you be?
around, the brain damage, the lesions on that brain must be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Between chemical poisoning as well as the fighting, it's got to be just...
And like we said, who knows if he was a crack baby on top of that.
You have no idea.
He's only 5'5", maybe he was.
Maybe.
It
does stunt your growth.
I really want to know how big his parents are now.
Yeah.
I want to know if his dad's like 5'3", I'm okay with this. This is fine. But
if dad's 6 foot and mom's like 5'11", we got a problem.
There's problems.
Yeah.
I'd like to know his brothers and sisters' sizes, but they all came from his mother, so who the hell knows?
Who knows?
So, he loses these fights both by submission, the ones that he fights. At least the losses were against linkers.
Yeah.
So at least he's not losing against nobodies. He's 16-10-2 at this point, so the record's starting to look a little less impressive.
It's getting shaky.
December 11th, 2005 in California. He fights at an event called GC46 Avalanche.
Okay.
Ooh, he fights Uriah Faber.
Oh.
Who's actually a good fighter.
He's a monster.
He's a monster, yes. Uriah Faber is 9-1 coming into the fight.
Okay.
He turns out to be 34-10 for his career.
Yeah.
And a goddamn good fighter. Like, I heard of this guy, and I'm not a big fan, but I've heard of this guy. This is for the King of the Cage Bantamweight Championship, this fight, because that's Uriah Faber's holding the title. Right. So they say, hey, here's some guy who, gets draws and loses all the time. Let's fight him in there. Charles loses a first-round submission, rear naked choke again to him. It's 4 minutes, 38 seconds into the first round. He's 16-11-2. Okay. That was his big chance. Yeah, he could have. If he would have beat him,
he's a contender. He would have been a champ.
And that's the thing. This guy can beat anybody, and we'll even find out. The size wasn't even a consideration, as we'll find out in a little while. Okay. Actually, we're going to find that out very soon here. But size isn't a consideration. He's just got a knockout punch. Okay, he's got for a guy his size. He hits like nobody else.
Just one of those guys that just has a punch.
Just has a punch. For a guy who weighs nothing and is tiny, it's amazing that he does that.
Tyson weighed a lot. He was going, a wall.
Yeah, he was fighting at 210, 220.
But he was so short.
Yeah, he was 5'11",
He's
5'10".
swinging up.
Oh, God.
His uppercuts were crazy.
Yeah. This guy just looks like a tiny little guy. He really does. But everyone he's fighting is tiny, too.
Yeah, they're fighting his weight.
So December 31st, New Year's Eve 2005, he is in Saitama, Japan. Okay. Again, they let him go there. It's I love this. The Saitama Super Arena. Ooh. Everything in Japan's the super.
Everything, yeah.
The super excellent arena. Right. Saitama Super Excellent, very good arena. I feel like that's what they're going to do. And buffet.
Right, and
buffet. That's all of the Chinese buffets are always like super terrific, happy buffet.
Right.
And you're like,
great
what?
China buffet.
Yeah,
why is it so great? It's not great.
This is the Pride Shockwave 2005. The funny thing is here, this shit is popular.
Really?
In Japan, this event draws 49,801 people to the show. That's incredible.
I mean, they got a lot of people. But
but to this event,
50,000 people.
50,000 for a Pride Shockwave 2005?
For nothing.
That's what football stadiums
for
hold.
no stars.
I mean, no, you don't know these people.
No.
That's fucking amazing. Yeah. Honestly, that's incredible. That's how into this they are in Japan, and he's popular there because they've never seen anything like him before. It's like, who is this crazy guy?
50,000 people. You're not even getting a close seat to that. You can't even see what's going on.
No, it's a stadium.
Jesus.
It's like a giant stadium, and like he's a different kind of guy. He's a little cocky, exciting black dude that does crazy shit that they don't have in Japan. They just don't have that personality over there.
And he's American, and they can't root hard enough against us.
But they like him though, because he's crazy. They're just like, oh, this guy's because he fights with heart. They like that over there. But anyway, he fights Ken Kaneko is this guy he's fighting over there. He wins by first round submission with an arm bar. Okay. But that's only the tip of the iceberg of this night. That's barely even scratching the surface of this night. This is only his first fight of the night. He has several others that we're going to get into.
He fights the same night?
No, not in the ring.
Oh,
backstage
okay.
now. He's going to go have a couple more fights.
All right, all right.
He's 17-11-2 after this win. It's funny, this win too. It really is. It's an easy win, and he's very excited about it. His antics are awesome. He comes in the ring. He looks like the Old Dirty Bastard, by the way, half the time. Really? He looks like Old Dirty Bastard on the cover of Old Dirty Bastard's Return to the 36 Chambers album, where he's got like the food stamp card on there. That's what he looks like 2010 on. He's got crazy hair. He's got gold grill.
He's got a grill.
He's got a grill while he's fighting.
Awesome.
He's fighting with the mouth guard on top, grill on the bottom. Like, what is happening?
He's fighting
here?
with $50,000 worth of teeth in his
It's
mouth.
mini ODB.
Ridiculous.
He's hilarious.
I loved ODB because he had so many nicknames
best.
too.
Oh God, I've never heard of a rapper brag about having gonorrhea as like something that he should tell you about. Like there's like 8 Old Dirty Bastard songs where he references his bouts with gonorrhea. I'm like, this guy is crazy, and that's kind of what this guy's like. He really
so
is.
Ghetto and so gangster.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's the old dirty MMA fighter.
He is dirty. That's for sure.
This is backstage New Year's Eve after the fight. Like I said, Charles wins his fight. After the fight, in the ring, because there's different crews. Like they have crews that accompany people to the ring of different fighters. Like these fighters have like teams.
Their entourage.
They're teams.
Oh,
where, like, the fighters hang
yeah.
out together and they all train together of different weight classes.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a fighter named Cristiano Marcello.
And he's on his team.
Do you know who he is? Cristiano Marcello. He's a famous fighter too. He is in the ring, around the ring, and he's telling Bennett after the fight, while Charles is in the ring, while Krazy Horse is in the ring, he's telling him that he wants to fight him. He's like, I want to fight you. I want to fight you.
Same weight class?
They're around the same weight class. He's like, I want to kick your ass, he's telling him. Mm-hmm. So Charles is saying, whatever, I just want to fight, go away. Yeah. He goes, I just got paid. I'm not trying to deal with your ass. Fuck you. He leaves the ring, goes backstage, and he's got a locker room that he shares. They go three men fighters to a locker room. Okay. He's sharing a locker room with Vanderlei Silva. Oh, God. You know who Vanderlei Silva is, right?
He's a monster.
He's a monster. He's a bad dude.
He's huge.
In 2004, he won like every best MMA fighter award in the world, basically. He's a bad motherfucker. And this is 2005, so this is prime, too. Yeah. He's a 185-pounder, mind you.
He's so big.
Charles is a $145. Right. So let's keep that in mind.
You don't want to take that punch.
Absolutely. So he's sharing it with Vanderlei Silva and who's the 185-pound champion, and also a fighter named Josh Thompson. Okay. They're in there. Now, backstage, Cristiano Marcello comes over and accuses Charles Bennett of talking shit. Okay. It's like, I heard you were talking shit about me. I heard you were talking shit in the ring. Right. Blah, 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 blah. Apparently, Charles is just blowing him off, going, all right, well, whatever. Fucking, he's telling him, if you want to fight, it's going to be in the ring for money. Yeah. Because I don't fight in the back. I fight in the ring for money. So he goes, you sign that contract. And he's saying, like, the guy who arranges the fights, he's like, he's right over there. Go talk to him. Yeah. I'll sign out in my name. We'll get in the ring, and we'll make some money doing this shit. That's what I'm saying. That's a smart move. So Marcello, whatever we'll call him, Marcello walks away. And I guess as he's walking away from what Charles says, Charles smiled at him. Like, go get walking, it done, motherfucker. Like, go, whatever. Yeah. Marcello gets fucking heated.
Really?
Gets insanely pissed. Comes over, starts saying, "Why are you smiling at me? You think I'm gay? You think I'm gay?" Every time we do an MMA fight, they are paranoid.
They're so scared of
people
being
thinking they're gay. Like, literally, that's the first thing. Like, someone could just knock over your Pepsi, and they'd be like, "What do you think, I'm gay?" And then we're trying to fight you. It's the weirdest shit that has nothing to do with gayness.
What is with dudes, though? Like,
they're sweaty dudes in their underwear in missionary position on a fucking mat with another guy paranoid about being gay. You think you'd be secure in your sexuality if you were dry humping a man? What is it with men
that the smile or the laugh is such a problem? Like, I've done it so many times when people want to fight me in bars or whatever. I laugh, and like that sets them the fuck off.
This wasn't even
what
laughing.
Is that?
And it wasn't even like you're laughing at me. Right. He said, "What do you think, I'm gay?" You're smiling at me like, "Were you coming on to me?" Which makes no sense at all.
Yeah, well, that grill was sparkling, and he's like, "Is he trying to propose to me?"
Yeah, what's going on
diamonds?
here? This is pre-grill.
Oh, all right.
It's like, why did he smile? Yeah, he's like, Marcello's like, if you're not saying I'm gay, why'd you smile at me? Like, that's the only reason you can smile at someone is if you're trying to have sex with them, especially gay sex. Especially gay sex. Right. Every gay sexual encounter starts with a smile.
Absolutely.
Guys. Starts with a smile.
I saw Brokeback Mountain. No, it doesn't.
No. Yeah,
it started real rough.
Not a lot of smiling in that
real grunty and just...
I feel like most gay encounters start with a smile, right?
I don't know.
I guess.
I think most any encounter starts
in prison.
I mean, what's the opposite of a smile? Straight, like, that's not going to get you laid.
No, that's what I mean. So you got to start with a smile. So maybe Marcello had a point.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
The smile is opening the door.
Either way, Bennett gets up, Krazy Horse gets up here, and Marcello gets in a few of what Bennett calls cheap shots. Okay. I guess he threw punches first. Yeah. They lock up. They start, like, tussling on the ground. What happens is Marcello gets him in, like, this triangle deal with his legs around his head, triangle deal. And Bennett's like picking him up like that and like slamming him on the ground while he's doing it. But dude's just holding on to his head.
Yeah.
And eventually Marcelo puts him out. He puts him to sleep.
Really?
Eventually, he eventually locks it down.
Triangle around his throat.
And puts him to sleep like
awesome.
that. So, this is after he was banging him on the ground and everything else. So Bennett's asleep. And there's video footage of this, by the way, out there. I've seen this backstage fight. Now, what happens after this is cut out of it, but many people saw it. Bennett says it to the people that it happened to. You know what happened, and other people witnessed it and backed him up on this. So
wow.
One thing I'll give him, he doesn't lie a lot about shit, Bennett. He'll tell you when he fucked up, and then he'll try to make excuses, but he'll tell you. So anyway, he gets put to sleep with the triangle. He's laying on the ground, flat on his back, just out cold.
Vulnerable.
And somebody comes and like kind of nudges him, and he wakes up, and you see him wake up and open his eyes, and he looks down. And this is where the video cuts out. But apparently, there's another video of him explaining it later on in a hotel room that's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Him telling the whole tale, which is so funny. So he's out cold. When he wakes up, Vanderlei Silva is kicking his legs. Like kicking at him, like, hey, fucking
wake up.
Asshole. But he's like kicking at his legs, right? So Charles pops up. This is after he was just unconscious.
No.
He pops up and gets in his face. They talk a little shit. Apparently, Bennett knocks him out with one punch.
What?
Charles socks him one, drops him.
Drops
out,
Vanderlei Silva.
one punch.
Wow.
And this is... he is still pissed about this to this day, Vanderlei. As we'll get into, this is not their last encounter.
After he was knocked out, he came to and got up and knocked out one of the biggest people you've ever seen.
Got 40 pounds on him.
Yeah.
And he just fought, too.
Yeah.
And that's what Charles Bennett's saying. He's like, yeah, Marcelo put me to sleep. Yeah, that's happened. He goes, what the fuck you expect? I just fought.
Yeah.
He goes, I won my fight over 4 minutes in the round. He goes, I just fought. I was tired. I'm not going to be wrestling with people. And also, the guy's a better wrestler than you. And he just got caught. And he's like,
he got you in a triangle.
And he said, man, that happens, man. He's like, hey, I got caught. He goes, but Silva, he got caught worse. And he hadn't fought yet. So he knocks him out. This is gonna begin a feud of a decade.
Really?
That goes, yeah. So he hits him. About this time, Silva, who's got his whole crew there, a bunch of large Brazilian men, surround the situation.
Yeah.
You got Charles standing over an unconscious Silva. They're not happy about this. So Charles, being semi-intelligent at least, makes a run for the door.
Hilarious.
Because he says, they're going to fuck me up.
Yeah.
He said, they're huge. And he goes, it was just me and a bunch of the Japanese people, because this is in Japan.
Yeah.
It was the Japanese people that work there.
They ain't going to do shit.
And the way he said it, he goes, Japanese people? Real small. He goes, real small dudes. He goes,
are they?
He goes, Silva's dudes? All huge. He's like, so the Japanese people ain't helping me. He's like, I better get the fuck out of here.
Hilarious.
So he says,
small dudes.
Small dudes. He's like, they're small. So he runs. Bennett, he makes a run for the door, right? And as he's trying to get out the door, he's like, I'm trying to open the door, and one of Silva's crew grabs him. So Bennett's like, I'm kicking at him, kicking away, trying to get him off of me. So he goes, I pop the door, I get it open, I fall out the door. He goes, so I'm on the ground, and I'm laying there, and then 2 seconds later, the door pops open, and it's Silva standing there.
Oh, shit.
And he's fucking pissed. He's super pissed, right? So he wants to restart it. He's like, all right, let's do this now. Bennett pops up, dancing backwards, and says, I just knocked you the fuck out. I'm gone, and runs away. Fucking runs away. And Silva can't chase him.
No, he's got to fight.
And he's also fast as shit. He's this little guy, and he just runs away, and he's like, I knocked you the fuck out. I'm out. And just runs. And Silva's like, I'll kill you. Imagine the steam coming out of his cauliflower ears right now. Pissed.
Cauliflower
He's fucking pissed.
Hilarious.
He has some bad cauliflower ears.
Does.
You could see it from like a good distance in a fight there.
Those things are so scary.
Yeah.
That alone makes me not ever want an MMA fight.
God, no.
Ever. That is so gross.
Mangling my ears.
That's disgusting.
No way, man. So I got earphones to put on. I got headphones. I got to do a show here.
I don't want that shit to swell my ears shut. That's sick.
That's the other thing, too. They pop open and bleed. It's terrible. So this is amazing. So after they fought, he said, out of this whole thing, Charles, the main thing is he wanted to fight Marcelo in the ring.
Okay.
He's like, I want to fight that dude in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And he's even saying, I'll fight Silva in the ring. I don't give a fuck about
Is
weight
he
or
nuts?
anything. He's like, I don't give a shit. He goes, I knocked his ass out once. He goes, that'll be worth a lot of money. He's just looking at money.
Yeah.
He's not scared. He just wants a good payday.
Silva will kill him.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Silva's, he still wants to fight Silva.
Really?
We'll get into this later.
Jesus.
So anyway, after this fight, Silva's been knocked out cold.
Yeah.
He's got to go fight still.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought yet.
Right.
So it's funny because for years the Japanese promoters told Charles not to tell anyone about this. That's why they cut it out of the video.
Really?
Because they can't send a guy out who just got a concussion backstage out to fight.
Good point.
So that would be bad for their promotions.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we kind of needed the fight because he was the champ. And
right.
The
other thing, too, is like, don't show the video of me getting my ass kicked then.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
No, but they do.
I just thought that looks shitty.
Apparently, Silva's people released a video of a cutout of just Charles Bennett doing his thing. So, whatever. He didn't care. He was happy to admit it. Heath goes out and defends his championship that night. Silva's fight goes the distance.
Really?
Because, he probably wasn't that sharp. Yeah. He was probably just pissed off at Bennett, too. Right. He was probably distracted. He wins a split decision, so he almost fucking lost. I mean, he had one judge going, no, I don't think so. You lost. So, against a guy named Ricardo Arona, who I don't know who that is. Altogether, Silva's 1-1 on the night. You look at it that way. Yeah,
that's pretty solid.
Bennett's 2-1 on the night. That's not bad.
And he fought up in weight class. Pretty good.
Silva, though, never stops wanting to kill Charles.
And
he wants Krazy Horse's fucking head on a pike. It's amazing. So February 2006 to June 2006, coming off of this, you'd think he'd be riding high, Charles, right? He's doing great.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Loses his next 3 fights.
Really?
Yep, loses them. 2 of them were to linked opponents, so at least they were decent. All 3 of them were by first-round submission.
Yeesh.
So he got caught early and often there. One fight was against a guy named Buddy Clinton, who's a non-linker, but we'll bring him up in a second because this guy, as much as he's a non-linker, he does a couple impressive things, including beating Charles in 18 seconds.
Whoa.
18 seconds rear naked choke. So he caught him early.
That's fast.
And there's going to be another fight where he gets somebody else fast that he shouldn't have gotten, where you're like, who is this guy, Buddy Clinton? He's a non-linker, but he's beaten 2 guys in under a minute that are good.
It's
awesome. So weird. He's 17-14-2 after this, so the record's getting close to 500.
Not good.
Not great. Wins his next fight in July, though. Brings his record to 18-14-2. Now, February 10th, 2007, we're in South Haven, Mississippi.
Okay.
Obviously, the Disneyland of
It's a haven. That's why haven is in the name.
Guys, this is where we all dream to go in America.
Yeah.
If you're not from America, if you're a foreign listener, we all grow up in wherever we grow up in, and then we say, someday,
one day,
if I can make it there,
I got to just make enough cash.
I can make it anywhere.
You betcha.
I can make it in South Haven, Mississippi. I'll make it anywhere. I know Sinatra, New York, but no, that's not. He meant South Haven. It just didn't rhyme as well as New York. Right. New York has a very rhythmic thing. South Haven didn't. It had too many syllables.
And the city and the state named the same thing.
Too many syllables.
There's no other city. There's no other place
you had to
like
do
that.
it.
There's no Nevada.
No, there really isn't. That's true. There's Jersey City, New Jersey.
There is, but it's not Jersey.
No, it's true. That's a really good point.
It's not New Jersey.
That's a good point.
Right.
So they're in South Haven for the Elite XC Destiny.
Okay.
He's fighting KJ Nunes, who at the time was like a kind of a hot up-and-comer. Like he had some heat behind him. They say during the fight, I watched this fight, they say he's 3-0, and there's some places that say he's 3-0, and there's some places that say he lost one of his first 4 fights.
Okay.
Some say he's 3-1, and the one loss they're saying he had was against Buddy Clinton. In 25 seconds, the same guy who just beat Charles Bennett.
Jesus,
so
this
apparently,
guy's quick.
Under 30, he'll wrap your ass up and make you submit, but there's no link to him, so I couldn't find out anything else other than he's an ass-kicking bad man. So he fights KJ Nunes, who we'll say is 3-0 coming in. Lots of hype. Apparently, Nunes talked shit during the weigh-in. He was trying.
Those are my favorite, though. Yeah. Have you seen that video on YouTube that's like a guy that cleverly talks shit every time he does a weigh-in?
That's terrific. It's like Muhammad Ali.
Like he goes up with like his fists up, and a guy has his fists up, and then he does paper, rock, scissors with the guy, and he wins, and then he just like puts his hands up in the air.
That's just funny. That seems like he's just entertaining himself.
I think he kisses somebody. He does some pretty wild. It's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Find that.
I like that.
Watch that.
That's good shit.
That stuff I like. Talking shit is.
Well, there's a purpose. There's a purpose, and the announcers talk about the fact that what he's trying to do, what Nunes is trying to do, they're both stand-up fighters.
Yeah.
And Nunes is a fighter. He's a striker.
Yeah.
Punches, kicks, Muay Thai he did and shit like that. He has Muay Thai training. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to get Bennett to stand up and exchange blows with him, basically. He's like, that's his chance of winning. I got to get this guy.
Let's punch this out.
Yeah, I got to get him to come at me, and I can kick him and do whatever I need to do. So that's what he's trying to do, is piss him off. He's like, this guy's Krazy Horse. Maybe he's not that mentally stable. Maybe I can get him to do what he wants.
Maybe? Have you seen his rap sheet? He's definitely mentally unstable.
We're using some psychology here against him. So he talks shit during the weigh-in. Charles, when they get into the ring to fight, they have to touch gloves.
Yeah.
Charles won't touch gloves with him.
Oh. little
He
disrespectful.
refuses to touch gloves. He waves it off. So Nunes is pissed. You can tell he like waves his hands down. He's talking shit, walking away like you fucking asshole. Blah
I
blah
like
blah. So he's pissed off. He's rattled Nunes at this point. It's funny. He talked shit. Nunes talked the shit,
Right.
and now Bennett's rattled him in the ring. So he's smart like that. They dance around for 3 minutes. The crowd is booing.
Really?
Booing unmercifully because they're doing nothing.
Awesome.
One guy will come in and like throw a kick at his leg, and then they'll like throw like a jab, and there's nothing going on. Like I
it's
could
a
do
fixed
this.
fight.
Like they're not doing anything.
Right.
Like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
At one point the announcers are like, "Yeah, this is Mississippi. They want to see some action down here. They're telling them you guys got to fight. You're here to fight. What are you doing, guys?
We've got $19 beers in our hands.
Yeah,
you guys
on.
better throw some punches.
Pick it up." And this was the opener too of the card.
God.
So they're like, "Come on, we want."
Yeah.
And you expect when you get Krazy Horse, they expect this
You
is
want
going to be
Krazy
action
Horse.
packed.
Yeah.
He's going to do crazy shit. This is going to be great. Anyway, he lands a right hand at some point. Charles lands a right hand when they're they had two little exchanges. That's it. Charles lands a right hand and drops Nunes like nobody's business.
Great.
I mean, it's a good pop too.
Yeah.
It's a solid pop. Nunes hits the ground, and you just see this look come over Charles, like there it is, and he just jumps on him and starts whooping his fucking, starts pummeling his head. The referee is trying to dive on it as fast as he can to get him off of him because it was over when he hit the ground. He was out.
It was already done.
Bennett was like, "Let's make sure, pop, pop, pop. Yeah, you want to talk shit during a weigh-in, motherfucker?" So he's going after him like that. Ref waves off the fight. Charles goes crazy.
Really?
Because he was an underdog. He was supposed to lose.
Oh, really?
Nunes was the big, he's 3-0. He's the big up-and-comer. He's supposed to be just a stepping stone. He just knocked his ass out. Also,
Charles treated him like a pregnant woman.
He treated him like a pregnant woman, exactly, without the choking.
Right.
He runs around the ring, and then it's amazing that he can do it, such a short guy, pops himself up on top of the cage.
Yeah.
Like on
Straddles
the top of the cage. No. Stands on top of it.
Wow.
Facing the crowd. Grabs it, pops himself up like in one motion.
Wow.
Stands up on top of the cage, facing the crowd, and does a massive backflip into the ring.
Really?
Lands in the middle of the ring.
Awesome.
That's how far he took this backflip. It was awesome.
Jesus.
Both of my knees would explode if I hit the ground like that.
Backflip's more impressive than the knockout.
It was.
Yeah.
He was, at least 15 feet in the air doing this. It's super impressive, the backflip. I can't get over how he did this. I was like, that's fucking ballsy. That's way more dangerous than fighting. Like, way more dangerous. So this brings him to 19-14-2, and he's got a little heat because he just beat somebody that he wasn't supposed to beat. So that's good. March 2007 to July 2007, he wins his next two fights against non-linkers, both by KO. Mm-hmm. So now we're moving along. One of the fights, by the way, was in Laughlin, Arizona. So that tells you the level of place they're doing.
Laughlin, Arizona.
If you're near Laughlin, Nevada, I mean.
Okay.
If you're not from the Southwest.
Say, where the fuck is that?
Laughlin is Vegas's taint.
Yeah, Laughlin is way worse than that.
It's Vegas's dingleberry dangling from its taint, basically. It's a horrible, shitty. Gambling is legal. There's like a man-made river, and gambling and
on boats
and bikers.
It's weird.
And bowling alleys.
It's where all the Hells Angels brawls ever occur.
Yeah, that's their Vegas. Because it's cheap. Like you can go get a room for $12.
Right.
There. It's like Vegas was in the 70s. Like they just want you to gamble. Come on, rooms are $12. We don't care. Just gamble.
Vegas in the 70s, and the prices haven't changed.
That's exactly what it is. We had to stop there one time. Sidebar here, driving back. It was super late and everybody was tired. We stopped in Laughlin and we got a big room at a casino for $11.
That's hilarious.
$11. And it was like a big, clean, nice room. We were like, this is awesome.
They still have penny slots. If you've been to Vegas, they have penny slots, but you put like dollar bills in, and then you can play like 30 or 500 pennies at a time. It's legit penny slots.
You can bring,
and you put a copper fucking penny in and spin the wheel.
Your dirty penny with gum stuck to it from the bottom of your purse and throw it right in there. No problem.
Make it rich.
You can make $14 if you really, really kill it.
Get
and do
yourself
well.
a room in the buffet all week.
I'm telling you. So these fights, that'll do it there too. That's like what, $9, $12, $20, $22 for that.
That's
for the
a small room.
Yeah, they can do that. They give you a deal for the week. So I figure they're discounting.
You get a bed and a toilet.
That's it. This was it was impressive. So one of these fights was in this shithole Laughlin. 21-14-2 now. So at least he's starting to make a distance between his wins and his losses. So he's doing well here, right? Mm-hmm. This is good. May 2007, he's arrested in Florida. He is charged with assault and false imprisonment this time, which is not great. This case is going to go on. This is another
that's
one.
legal in Laughlin. He should have just stayed there.
I think it is, actually. He should have stayed there, especially only if you're in a biker gang.
Right.
It's legal then. You have to show your colors first, and then they're like, okay.
Assault and unlawful imprisonment is basically what the hotel is convicted of every
Reaching
week.
in your pocket. So he... Because of this arrest, he does not get out of jail in time and misses a flight to San Jose for his next fight and is dropped from the card. And this is not the first time or the last time this is going to happen.
Really?
At all. No, this is common for him.
He got arrested and missed a flight.
So he got arrested. He couldn't get out of jail in time. They had to process him and do all that. So he can't fight in that card in late May. The fight he was supposed to have was against Victor Valenzuela, and it was a strike force card. And because apparently these charges were a violation of his probation.
Okay.
They had to hold him a little longer in Marion County, Florida. Yeah, because he's got all sorts of. Anytime he gets arrested, it's a problem. We're dipping back into more old charges and everything else.
We got to check the books.
Yeah, we got to look and see what this
violates.
Yeah, exactly. So August 2007 to October 2007, he has 1 win and 1 loss, both versus non-linkers. He's 22-15-1, just kicking it around. This will be his last fight until June 2009.
Okay.
This is October 2007. He had a fight scheduled. He does have one scheduled for January of 2008. He's supposed to compete in the King of the Cage card on January 24th of 2008. But on the 18th of January, he is arrested for domestic violence.
God damn it.
And kicked off the card. This is not domestic violence as you would think of it. This is domestic violence against his girlfriend's, his brother's girlfriend.
Oh, my God.
Okay, this is
hitting every woman.
This is the first time he'll get in trouble for fighting his brother's girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, a woman named Amber Novak.
Okay.
He insists that she starts everything. She comes at him.
Yeah,
and
as they do.
And he, in quotes about this, he calls her consistently a fat fucking bitch. This isn't me talking. This is him talking. Calls her a fat fucking bitch and a monster and says, that bitch is 3 times the size of me.
Wow.
Fuck that. Blah, blah, blah. Why I get in trouble. She comes and hits me, which 3 times my fucking weight. I hit her back. I'm the bad guy. Blah, blah, blah. Like he has no remorse for hitting this woman at all.
I'm going to give her some credit, though. She's a gangster for fighting a guy that fights MMA.
Yeah, well, she's
expect willing him to fight him.
She doesn't expect him to whoop her ass, probably, too. She probably goes, I'm a woman, and I'm his brother's girlfriend.
Right.
He's probably not going to sock me in the jaw. And he says, oh, no, I'll sock you in the jaw. No problem.
Here's the other thing. Like, how do you say that about your brother's girlfriend? Like, she's a fat fucking bitch.
Consistently.
That's crazy.
He says this for years, because we'll get in here. So
Amber's tough. I like her.
Amber's tough. So 2008, later on in the year, he's found guilty of aggravated battery for this situation.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. Yeah. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder. Follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
He goes to jail in 2008.
Okay.
So he's in jail in early 2008. And while he's in jail, something that he was doing outside the ring airs on television.
Uh-oh.
Something good for him
Uh-oh.
actually happens. And this is what I mean. This is as good as it gets. He's winning fights.
Yeah.
He's on this really interesting thing that's good for him.
Yeah.
And then he goes to prison because he's a fucking moron and he can't capitalize on his momentum. March 2008, the Iron Ring show on BET premieres.
Awesome.
BET, if you're not from America, is Black Entertainment Television. It's a black station, I guess. They play,
It's all about things that happen in the black community.
Yeah, it's
and
like
they try to build each other up and try to promote black things, black entertainment, black
in the 90s,
driven entertainment.
In the 90s, they would play videos with much less cut out, which
Right.
was great. Like if you saw the Dr. Dre Nothing But a G Thing video, the weed leaf on dude's hat was still there. Like shit like that.
You could see the Sox logo on his hat
That's
because
what
they
I
called
mean.
it gang affiliated on MTV.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying, shit like that. But so it premieres. This is a show where basically what they have is it's celebrity team owners is what they do, and they have Floyd Mayweather, Ludacris, Nelly, Lil Jon,
The star power,
and T.I.
Holy shit!
Yeah, these are all. This is a lot of. This is
a big deal,
especially in 2008. These people were top
How
tier.
did they afford all those people?
They wanted to do it because MMA was getting a big deal, and what they would do is these team owners, they'd each have a coach who's an MMA fighter, and they would pick young fighters out, and they would be trained by the coach, and the team owner would pick them out.
So Ludacris was training people?
No, he's the team owner.
Okay.
And then they'd each have an MMA fighter who's a coach, and then they would pick these young guys out, train them, and then they would fight against the other teams in a competition at the end to see who had the best team.
So kind of like that shit on Spike, but
black.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the black version of that, like Black Steel Magnolias.
Right.
Except this is probably
Steel
much better.
Magnolias.
This is probably much better.
Holy shit.
Well, they made a word-for-word remake of it black, and
Yeah.
it pissed every woman I know off. I don't know why. Even black women were like, they made it shitty. I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened. I don't know anything about that. And The Wiz. But that at least wasn't a remake.
That wasn't a remake. It's good, too.
So they all have these fighter coaches. Bennett is T.I.'s coach. Charles is on this fucking show as T.I. He's hanging out with fucking T.I.
Yeah.
This is good for him.
Right.
If you weren't in prison, that is. If you were on the outside to capitalize on this. Amazing. Excellent. But instead, he's in jail. Nelly's team eventually wins the whole thing.
Really?
In case you're curious.
Do they all have Band-Aids over their
out
eyes?
there? God, I hope so. That would be perfect.
This is stupid.
So we have an in their own words about while he was in jail and his wasted ability here.
Yeah.
He says, in their own words, quote, "When I was in the county jail, a lot of officers and now I'm going to say here, this is expletive, and I've heard him talk a million times, and he either says motherfucker or nigga. That's the two things he's going for.
I love
in this.
it.
I'm going to go with motherfucker because I'm much more comfortable saying that.
Yeah,
So I'm going to go with motherfucker.
All right.
The other one makes me uncomfortable a little bit to say
hate
out
it
loud.
so much.
So he says, quote, in their own words, start over, quote, "When I was in the county jail, a lot of officers and motherfuckers that were coming in and out of jail were coming in and saying, I just saw you on BET with T.I., Young Dro. Every time that I would turn around, people were coming in and out of jail, would come up to me and be like, dude, you're too talented for this shit."
All right.
So in jail, they're all like, man, I just saw what the fuck. And he's like,
saw you
yeah,
on
I could be
TV.
capitalizing, but instead I'm an idiot and I beat up my brother's girlfriend because I'm a jackass. So he finally gets out in 2009.
Yeah.
After wasting any heat that he could have had. His first fight back is June 6th, 2009. This is a full year after this airs.
Jesus.
So his heat's gone.
All of it.
He could
Nobody
have had
even remembers
something.
that shit.
Nope, gone. Could have had something. He blew it. This is the story. He has bad timing, this guy.
Okay.
He fights in Winter Haven, California. It's the King of the Cage Legends fight or match. Winter Haven, California.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, they're all dumpy.
So out in the middle of nowhere.
All these casinos are out in the middle of nowhere.
It's like, yeah, that's exactly what that is. It's where
shit casinos.
Right. Shit casinos of people traveling through in their fucking RVs or trucks or whatever, and that's what's there.
So, King of the Cage Legends is what it's called. I guess they're bringing back Legend. I don't know, whatever. He loses a split decision to a non-linker named Anthony McDavitt. So that's what he does. He comes out, and that's his big foray. Rather than being on a hot streak from the TV show and all that, he's losing to a guy no one's ever heard of. Yeah. He's 22-16-2. He wins his next fight in August of 2009, bringing him to 23-16-2.
Okay.
Now, 2010. he decides he's no longer going by Krazy Horse.
Okay.
He has had it with Krazy Horse.
What's the new one?
He has decided he will now be called Kid Chaos.
Oh, boy.
That's the new thing. He says it's better, he says, quote, to be a better role model.
Okay.
That's the reason.
He doesn't like the Native American racial undertones there.
No, he just doesn't want to be, well, I'll explain in a second here, but he says this is better. He calls it, quote, cuter and funnier. Cuter. This man said cuter. He chokes pregnant women and then goes, that's a cute outfit you got on there. That's adorable, that onesie that you got for when you have that baby.
And by the way, Kid Chaos doesn't choke chicks. Krazy Horse does.
Krazy
That's
Horse
what
does,
it is.
but not Kid Chaos.
Right.
So he says this is better for kids. It sounds better. Kids shouldn't want to look up to a guy with Krazy Horse as his name. Also says, quote, in the next 5 years, I think I'll be in the movies. Better
you
chance
get to
of being in
decide
prison.
that? Yeah.
Let's decide now. It's 2010. Everybody out there, crime and sports play at home game here. Do you think in the next 5 years the odds are better that he will A, be in the movies, or B, be in prison? Which do you think? Think now. I'll give you a little Jeopardy. Everybody vote?
Hilarious.
Okay, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does here. So December 2009 to April 2011, he has 7 fights.
Okay.
7 in that time period. Loses 6 of them.
Oh, boy.
So this is not going
He's won
well.
1 fight out of 7.
That's
That's good
loses
math.
6, yeah. That's good. Yeah, good job, Jimmy. And there's so 24, 22, and 2 now. This
That's
is
depressing.
getting dangerously close to 500.
Yeah.
That's bad if you're a fighter.
Yeah.
January 18th, 2010. Some interesting things happen here. He's in Bernalillo County, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay, he's moved to New Mexico.
What a waste
now.
of space that state is.
It's horrible.
It's so bad.
Sorry, New Mexico,
I'm
but
not
Jesus
sorry.
Christ, it's awful.
so fucking ugly.
It is. Sometimes there's nice mountains, but most of it's
For
desert,
the most
and it's
part,
horrible.
it is flat and ugly, and then they try to sell you moccasins and blankets.
And fireworks.
And
Don't forget
fireworks. That I do enjoy.
Fireworks. And the speed limit's very high there,
Yeah.
so you can get through that state quickly, as we learned.
They want to let you do it.
Yeah, as we learned coming back from South by Southwest.
like, we know.
Pump it through. Yeah, we know you want out. Okay, we get it. So he's living there now. He's calling it his adopted home.
Really?
Because I guess he's got a team and a gym that he's working with.
Okay.
He's working out at the FIT NHB gym. Okay. He's sparring with a larger guy, just sparring with Tyler Beast East. Do you guys know who he is?
No.
Tyler Beast East, we will guarantee you be covering one of these days.
Okay.
He gets arrested constantly.
Awesome.
For assault. He's a nutcase. We will absolutely get to him.
I wonder who gave him his nickname.
Yeah,
because that's real fucking clever.
It's creative. It's creative. It's good. Krazy Horse is better than even Kid
Beast.
Chaos is better.
So
Tyler
dumb.
Beast East. This guy's an asshole. He's white trash, whatever. But
Terrific.
in this particular case, he is not in the wrong, and he's just doing fine. Okay. They're sparring. Things get heated. I guess Charles gets a little too. Kid Chaos here gets a little too chaotic and starts going at him kind of hard. And
Gets
Tyler,
a little loose.
Yeah. Tyler's a big guy. He's like a heavyweight. He just tossed his ass to the ground and said, I told you we weren't going hard. He's like, I said we're fucking just sparring. Like, chill out, basically. So he gets up and Charles gets up and they want to fight. Okay. He's pissed off.
Yeah.
He's in. The gym representative, Tom Vaughn, has a quote over here about this. He said, quote, during routine sparring, tempers flared between Charles and the other fighter, and Charles ended up getting dropped by the larger training partner. So that's what ends up happening here. They get into it a little bit, scuffle. Tyler tosses him to the ground. I think he punched him once or something. He's like 200-pound guy. He's gonna rock this guy. Right. So that ends up happening. They get broken up by everyone in the gym. Okay. As you know, you'd figure they're all in the same team in the same gym, kind of fighting together. Charles quickly leaves the mat. I don't know if he's embarrassed or what, or maybe he has another motivation. We'll find out. He gets dressed quick and quickly leaves the building. So he's just off the mat, clothes on. He's out the door. He's gone. For 15 minutes.
For 15 minutes?
For 15 minutes. He comes back 15 minutes later.
What'd he go get?
Walks up to the area where Tyler is, and pulls out a heavy steel pipe he found in the parking lot.
Wow.
And works Tyler over from behind.
Really?
Attacks him from behind, swinging with vicious intent.
Took him 15 minutes to find a pipe?
He literally went outside and was like, what can I find to whoop this guy's fucking ass? And he's like, this'll do.
Yeah.
Who knows how far away he went? He could have gone 3 parking lots down to find that.
He ran all over New Mexico looking for a pipe.
Climbed in a dumpster. I mean, who knows what he's doing? Look to the construction site. So he works this guy over, attacks him from behind with the pipe. So he's super pissed. Attacks Tyler's knee, elbow, and ribs. Wow. Smart enough not to hit him in the head with it, but he's trying to mess him up and not let him be able to fight. Police are called. because he's being a maniac.
Right away, I hope.
They were, police are called. They let the first fight go because they were in the ring and whatever. But now you're attacking the guy from behind with a pipe.
With a weapon.
Kind of above and beyond what you're supposed to be doing here. Charles is arrested and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
That's a serious charge.
That's a good one.
That's a good charge. He's held at the Metropolitan Detention Center and on $25,000 bail. And that's your Metropolitan, really? Bernalillo, Lilo County, New Mexico.
I think
you're being a little optimistic there. Call it the Metropolitan.
It's a stretch.
Just call it the Shithole County Jail Detention Center. So July 2011, this is after all this, a year and a half later.
Yeah.
That all kind of is settled and blows over. There's a fluff piece about him.
Oh, they're going to build him up.
Who the fuck is writing fluff pieces about this guy?
Who's heard of him?
But they write a fluff piece. It's in Bleacher Report, and Charles vows to take his career more seriously. This is like...
It's in Bleacher Report?
Yeah,
this is legit.
This is a Bleacher Report, I'm good now fluff piece. It's just, I'm good now.
Yeah.
It's fine. He says he's going to take his career more seriously, says he's done getting in trouble. I'm good now is exactly what he says. Says he's trying to get custody of his 2 children.
Don't do that.
No. I don't want...
What court's giving you that?
None, thank God. But he's trying to get custody of his children, and we have an in their own words here about his goals with his kids.
Oh, great.
In their own words, quote, "To do for them better than what someone did for me feels really good. My children are very, very important to me, and I don't know what I'd do without them. We as men are looked at to have kids and then just move the fuck on and not be involved in the kid's life after we move on. I take a lot of pride in being part of my kids' lives and giving them a better upbringing than the one I had. The future holds a lot. I've got big plans for my family and I in the future. The future is very bright." What society says you're supposed to have kids and leave and not pay attention to them anymore? That is not part of anything.
Listen, it happened to me, and I'm still pissed about it.
That's what I mean.
I don't know what he's talking about.
He said, that society tells us that's what we're supposed to do. No, that's not. Even your own dad, you lived with him, for Christ's sake, and he was a fucking crackhead who had a kid with a woman who had 10 other kids with 10 other guys.
What a crazy thought.
Wow, but that's his mindset. Like, I know I'm not supposed to take care of my kids, but I feel like I should. I don't know what it is.
To.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just feel like, maybe I should take care of my kids once in a while.
That's hilarious.
Holy shit. So, unreal. That's what he's doing here. He also, like I said, he's still planning on being an actor. He's like, I'm still trying to get in the movies. That's another part of it. But right now, he
doesn't know that you don't just get to say that and just get to do it.
You just show up, and they're like, oh, yeah, come on in, pal. You crazy son of a bitch.
That's hilarious.
Well, we're looking for an old dirty bastard type. That's what we're looking for right now.
Walk into any diner in L.A. and be like, "Why are you here?" Because they're going to tell you, "I came here to act.
I came here to act."
And now I'm serving you hash browns and these shitty eggs.
Would you like another soda with that?
Can I get you a refill on your water, sir?
Yeah,
I like
all
your grill.
I like your grill. That's top notch. That's the thing. If they're looking for an old dirty bastard type, but tiny,
that's your guy.
He's your guy. So he's super focused on training, and we have it in their own words, talking about what got him so focused on the training.
Oh, great.
This is a great quote right here. Right. In their own words, this is in July 2011, in their own words, quote, "When I got 22 losses, I realized I needed to train. These guys are training every day, all day. In order to compete with these motherfuckers, I have to do the same thing. I've been training every day for 5 weeks, and I got 3 more weeks to go before the fight. This is by far the first time I've put in this much work."
These motherfuckers.
These motherfuckers are doing this shit. That's every other word is fuck out of this guy's mouth. It's awesome. Every word is fuck.
When I hit 22 losses, that's when I decided to start training.
20, you think double digits, or even when I got to the 20 mark, I'd think, maybe I should start taking it. But 22, that was the 2 numbers next to each other just made me think.
They were identical. They just looked so.
Just made me think.
It was an indicator. That I needed to maybe jog a little bit.
It made me think of Clyde Drexler, and then that made me think of working out, So July.
Either that or I'm going to bring a pipe to every fight.
He'd win them all.
I won that one.
That fucking worked out. After he lost, he was 1-1 on that day. So July 23rd, 2001, this is the fight he's been training for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks and another 3. It's in Oroville, California. Again, not great. King of the Cage, Shockwave. It's at the Gold County Casino, where dreams are made, I'm sure. Jesus Christ.
It's lots of fucking casinos between Phoenix and L.A.
That's what it is. That's where they all are, in the desert.
Everything you name is an exit between here and L.A.
Because it's all Indian reservation and all in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. It's basically, that's it. So he fights non-linker Matt.
Fighting at Coachella next?
Yes, I believe he is. It'll be perfect for him. Matt Muramoto, he's fighting. It's a non-linker.
Okay.
He loses a first-round submission to a rear naked choke at 248.
So much for training.
All that training. It's the first time he's ever trained, and all that for nothing. He loses to a nobody.
Lose the same way.
To nobody.
To nobody.
He's 24, 23, and 2 now.
All right.
September 10th, 2011, he gets a first-round TKO win in Santa Fe, New Mexico at the Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino. I wrote that. Literally, I'm only telling you about this because I really wanted to say Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino. Because what
That's
the
hilarious.
fuck? He was from the Gold County Casino to the Buffalo Thunder. He fights Michael Castile, knocks him out in 56 seconds, making him 25, 23, and 2. December 2011 to December 2012, 1 year period. He has 6 fights, loses 5 of them.
Oh, my God.
So now it's starting to come off the rails. Because also now he's getting in his mid-30s now. He's not like 28 or 27. Like now he's starting to where physically you start to...
You can't.
You're not the same guy
You just fucking
anymore.
can't.
No, so he has 6 fights, loses 5 of them. 4 of them are by decision. So at least he's training enough to go the distance in these fights, but he's not winning them, so it doesn't matter. One of the fights is by KO. He loses by KO.
Okay.
Only 1 linker in the bunch, too. All a bunch of nobodies. He's now 26, 28, and 2.
Yeesh.
That's a terrible record. Now, December 7th, the last fight he fought, December 7th, 2012, is his last fight for almost 3 years.
Good God, he's going to do it again?
And let's find out why it's his last fight in 3 years, okay? Now, before we do that, let's let him tell us about himself.
Serenade us into why.
Let's let him tell us about, because he's going to tell you that, he's misunderstood, basically.
Of course he is.
Let's let him do it.
All
Let's let him do it in his own words. What do you say? In their own words, quote, "Y'all got to understand, I'm not that bad person that they're trying to make me or how they're trying to perceive me. Anyone that knows me knows that I don't look for trouble, and I try my best to stay out of it. I have no regrets in life. People want to criticize me, but no one is perfect in this world." Let's unpack that, okay, first of all. Let's just unpack this.
First of all,
bullshit.
Amber might disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm not that bad guy that they're trying to make me or how they're trying to perceive. Nobody tries to perceive anything. Perception is you don't try. It's just it's instinctual.
Right.
It's your perception.
Right.
So that was a stupid thing to say. Anytime you hear someone say anyone that knows me knows, that means they're lying. It's in my experience.
Anybody that knows me knows is just saying that nobody knows this.
They know you're an unstable lunatic. It's basically the opposite of what they're going to say next is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't look for trouble and I stay out of it. No, you don't. No. And yes, you
look for it.
Yes, you do.
You found
a
pipe and chased a man in the ring.
That's what I mean. You're happy to find trouble. No regrets in life. I can't unpack that. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. In his head, he probably doesn't. Now, January 23rd, 2013, Charles is arrested. Jesus. In Ocala, Florida, and he's booked on battery charges.
Of who?
This is a mess. By the way, from 1999 to now, he's been arrested 14 times. Just so we know, 14 fucking times. And some of those are parole violations.
Anybody that knows me knows that I stay out of trouble.
Anybody that knows me knows I don't get arrested 14 times in less than 14 years. So it's
Anybody
fine.
that knows me is not a cop.
It's not a cop, because otherwise I'd be under arrest. So this is when Charles releases a video. And it's him standing in the woods with somebody clearly on a cell phone or some sort of something like that. And it's a video of him. He's clearly high as fuck.
Yeah.
Or something's wrong with him. His eyes are half closed. He's talking real like this. And he says, I'd say in a 15-minute period, he says 6 times. He goes, "My name's Charles Bennett Jr. I was born 11/23/79. Gives his full name and birth date several times during this interview, which makes no sense of why he's even saying it, but whatever. This video, he says he's broke. Yeah. He's like, "Y'all got to help me." He's asking for money. He's literally saying, "Anybody, y'all got to help me, any kind of money. I'm broke. I got nowhere to go. I got attorney's fees," because we're going to get into why he's got attorney's fees, because he's going to explain what happened here. He's like, "I got attorney's fees. Y'all got to help me. I tried and I'm doing this and I'm trying to do that." He says, "I got nothing. I'm broke. I got nowhere to go." Like, he's rock fucking bottom.
But he's got a video camera in the internet.
Rock bottom. Yeah, someone's holding up a video camera. It's awful. He says he needs to buy an attorney. He claims that Amber Novak, again, brother's girlfriend, attacked him on several occasions, unprovoked. Okay. Because he doesn't do nothing. Like he said, I got to understand I'm not that bad person.
Right. So, everybody knows me, knows I stay out of trouble.
Y'all got to understand that, is what he says. She said he would ask... he said he would ask his brother, Amber's boyfriend, to tell her to stop messing with him. Because she would fuck with him. She'd try to do things to him. Yeah. I don't know.
She's picking on me, y'all.
Yeah,
I got to fight back.
Yeah, he says that he had to stay at his grandmother's house because he had nowhere else to go. Okay. Now, his uncle lived there, 2 brothers, and the brother's girlfriend. They all live in this fucking house. So
it's a fucking mess.
It's a mess. Yeah, this is not a good environment. The uncle wanted to kick Charles out, but Charles talked him into letting him stay, saying he has nowhere else to go. You can't kick me out. Grandma said I could stay here, and basically says as long as Charles doesn't mess with anybody, you can stay. Says to Charles, okay? So Charles claims that he had his daughter come over one night while his brothers and Amber were hanging out drinking. Mm-hmm. He has his daughter there. At this time, probably 12, 13 years old. Yeah. Claims Amber was saying bad things about the daughter and laughing. Okay, at the time. This was back in 2008. He's telling about this story because this is a continuation of all this. Charles claims he took the daughter home at 1 a.m. because they were acting so shitty. Yeah. Kid should have been asleep anyway. I don't know what he was doing up, but whatever. Came back to the house and said that Amber started kicking him. Kicked him in the legs and said, "What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do?" Trying to bait him, I guess. And if she was really drunk and messing with him, maybe that happened.
It's possible. Yeah.
I could see it. It happens.
Sometimes women get a little cocky.
Mm-hmm. Or everybody.
But she knows.
Women, people.
She knows that he fights.
She knows.
She knows that he fights back. Time. Yeah.
So he claims that, again, he asked his brother he said the next day, he asked his brother, "Man, please keep her away from me. I'm trying to stay out of trouble," of course. He's playing whatever. I mean, who knows how much of this is true. Now,
that's the part that I like most.
Yeah. And now another day he claims there was another dispute with Amber about parking spots in the front yard. He borrowed a guy's car, and the gate is locked behind the cars, and the guy needed his car, and they wouldn't open the gate for him. So there was a big dispute about that with his the whole story's
so
crazy.
Childish.
It's so childish, and it's so white trash, even though they're not white. It's still white trash.
Super white trash.
Some trailer trash shit here. Amber attacks him, he says. He says that she pushed him when he came into her room to ask her to unlock the front gate. Okay. So the next day, he said he was doing laundry. This is all escalating when Amber came in and unplugged the washing machine on him while he was doing laundry. So he says that this is all so childish. This is Jerry Springer right here.
This is shit I did to my sisters when I was 12. Yeah. I swear to God, this is so embarrassing.
These are all adults, though. Yeah. These are people in their 30s.
Right.
So apparently he goes out in the hallway, and his 2 brothers and Amber are right there. And he said that he yelled that y'all need to leave me alone, and he slapped a door.
Pulled his ass out and wiped a booger on the wall.
Totally, yeah. Right. And then threw her, and ripped her head off her Barbie and threw it down and set it on fire. Yeah. So he claims that when he slapped the door, Amber got mad and ran up and punched him in the chest. So he said at that point he started hitting her back. Okay. And so he hits her back, and he gets arrested. Yeah. And now he has to go to jail.
and he needs money.
And he needs money, and he's making videos.
Begging for a GoFundMe.
He's making this video in the woods, and he hears another guy trudging through. He's like, "Who the hell's coming here?" It's a guy with a bunch of dogs. And it's Bobby Colorado, animal trainer from Fredericksburg, Texas. Oh, he's walking the dogs, and he says... "How is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? You're in a TV show. You got rappers with the Band-Aid on the face. Fucking get to know these guys. Say, hey, help me out a little bit, asshole. Instead, you're going fucking hitting women, your brother's friends. What is wrong with you?
Huh? It's your brother's girlfriend. She's twice your size.
You're fighting backstage. She's a beast. Look at her. You're not going to beat her. What's wrong with you?
You're fighting
what
up
are you
in
doing?
weight class.
Come on. Every time you fight, you're fighting up and fight a guy your own size. You're still getting beat by them. I can't even click on him. I go to him, I say, hey, who kicked your ass? I don't even know because I can't click on the fucking guy because he's got no link. What the fuck's wrong with you? All right, well, I don't know. You better get your shit together, all right? I'm going to get out of here. All right, I got dogs. I got to take the dogs.
I got to pick up this dog shit.
And then he goes, and he's trained. He's got a lot of animals to train, so he's off of there. Charles is very confused. He doesn't understand where he came from or where he's going. But he says when he got taken to jail for this, he got arrested, that he lost everything. He said his brother stole all of his clothes, all of his jewelry, everything he owned of any value. His brother stole from him while he was in jail when he got arrested for this. This is his claim. Who knows if it's true? He had no jewelry on, so I don't know. Before that, he had jewelry. So, 2013, he is convicted of battery and sentenced to prison.
Uh-oh.
He serves 2.5 years in prison at the Blackwater River Correctional Facility in Milton, Florida.
Ouch.
Not good. This is bad stuff. So now he's in prison. He's still, he's a mess. He's in prison for this. He gets released from prison in 2015, and he decides he's changing his name again.
Oh, my God.
He gets out of prison, and he says, I am no longer Krazy Horse. I am no longer Kid Chaos.
Right.
I am now Felony Charles Bennett.
What?
And not Charles Felony Bennett.
Right.
He gets mad at you if you say that. He is Felony Charles Bennett. God damn it.
This one I really dig.
He
so much for cute and cuddly for the kids.
You're going to dig it less when he tells you something about it here. He says he came up with felony while in jail, but it stands for something.
Uh-oh.
It stands for, quote, fuck everybody left offended next year, which doesn't even make fucking sense.
Was he Gary Busey?
He just wanted to call himself Felony, and he tried to come up with fucking words for the letters. That's all it is. Like,
so
fuck
dumb.
Fuck everybody left offended next year.
What?
The stupidest thing in the world. He says he came up with it while he was in jail, and that's what he's doing. He says that everyone knows he's crazy. Yeah. So he doesn't need, he said he'd call himself crazy before so people would be scared of him saying he's crazy. But now he knows everyone knows I'm crazy. Yeah. So when I get in the ring with people, that's already in their head. He literally said the word embedded. That's already embedded in their mind. He goes, but now they hear felony, and he goes, oh shit, I wonder if he has a bunch of felonies. Maybe that's how he got his name, and then they'll be scared of me for that.
We know you do.
Yeah, we know you have felonies for punching women, you fucking moron. Right. Oh, your only assaults are against women and a guy that had his back turned while you had a pipe. Those are your assaults. Unreal.
Not exactly fear-worthy.
No. So now, I mean, Jesus Christ, the people of Ocala, first of all, they're embarrassed of him beyond belief, I'm sure. He could have helped his parents if he did better, but he didn't. His mom's probably still a crackhead. She's probably living in an alley somewhere. His dad's a mess. 11 brothers and sisters. God knows where he is. He has 2 goddamn kids.
Yeah.
Amber's
been paintbrushed.
She's been paintbrushed solidly. The poor pregnant woman who got strangled, let's not forget about her. Tyler Beast East has been hitting the knees, ribs, and elbows with a goddamn pipe. Holy shit, I feel bad for all these fucking people. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Charles Bennett, Cloud Channel Development Expert at SAP Global, or Charles Bennett, Director of Maintenance at Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority in the greater Philadelphia area.
That's a pretty sweet job.
Not bad. Charles Bennett, the Vice President at Queensboro National Bank and Trust in Augusta, Georgia.
He figured it out.
Yeah, Charles Bennett Jr., even a junior, is a loan closing officer at Citibank in the greater New York City area. Dr. Charles Bennett, M.D. He's a doctor specializing in family medicine at Calvert Primary Care in Lusby, Maryland, and he's bald and he has a very nice mustache, very Jeffrey Tambor-like. And finally, Charles D. Bennett, which is this guy's exact name, Charles D. Bennett, investment manager in New York City, who went to the University of Alabama.
Jesus.
Holy
He's
shit.
in the South with this fucking asshole.
Those poor people. Charles D. Bennett, which is this guy's name. That's so bad. So now he gets out of jail in 2015 after serving 2.5 goddamn years.
Yeah.
He has his first fight in Sloan, Iowa, where the cornfields are paved with gold, I guess.
Just so much class.
What you want to do here. It's at the King of the Cage Harvest of Champions. I love if they put the word harvest in it in Iowa. God. He fights Danny Black.
Punnin' bastards.
Fights Danny Black, wins a first-round KO in a minute 41. He's back, folks. He's back. Who knows what Danny Black was all about. So January 2016 to May 2016, he has 4 fights, including one against Paul Rodriguez, the star of Million to One from the 80s. I doubt it's
still touring comedy clubs today.
I doubt it's Paul Rodriguez, the long-running comedian. I believe it's a different man, but he fights a Paul Rodriguez nonetheless. Right. All 4 of these fights are non-linkers. He goes 2-2 in these 4 fights, 29-30-2.
$1,000,000 to 1.
$1,000,000 to 1. Unbelievable. So now March 31st, 2016, there's a fluff piece on him.
Jesus.
We're still doing fluff pieces on this
Where's
fucking
this
guy?
at now?
This
Huffington
is
Post?
all sorts of different ones.
Really?
The name of the article is, quote, The Incredible Story of Ex-Con turned MMA Fighter Charles Krazy Horse Bennett. He's not an ex-con turned MMA fighter. He's just a fucking fighter criminal. That's he's a criminal fighter.
He's a criminal that kept fighting and kept criming. That's what he did.
Yeah, he did those things really simultaneously. Very parallel. Unfucking believable. Criminal fighter would be the better way to put that.
Turned fighter. Wow.
It's a fluff piece on how he's good now. The article might as well be called He's Good Now.
Haven't they seen the video?
I don't think they have. I don't think they've done as much research on this as we have, honestly. I think they just took his fucking word for it. I really don't.
Good.
I don't think they did what I did and stayed up for 3 days and fucking went up this guy's ass with a microscope. So now, September of 2016, Bennett is in Japan to fight a guy named Minoru Kimura. He's still getting passports. He's still getting let into a foreign country.
He's been in prison.
Oh, my goodness. So Bennett and Vanderlei Silva, remember him?
Yeah.
They're apparently staying at the same hotel.
Whoa.
Bennett comes through the lobby as Silva is at the desk checking in. This is all on video, too. The shit talking ensues.
Yeah.
This is a funny video. Silva says, "You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing," as he's pointing toward him.
Yeah.
And Bennett, Charles Krazy Horse says, Felony says, quote, "You know what I did. I knocked you out. I slept you." So he's just talking shit. He's like, "Fuck you." So Silva stalks toward Charles. Charles is trying to get on the elevator as he's coming. And you see him like keep pressing the button. As he's talking shit, though, he's like, "I knocked your ass out, motherfucker." Push, push, push,
Where's
push,
this
push.
elevator at? Where's
Come
this
on,
elevator
let's go.
at? Open the door. Open the door.
So people sort of get in between them, and Silva almost gets in the elevator with him. He gets right to the elevator door. It's a bunch of scared Japanese people like in the middle of them. Very small, as he said. Elevator doors close, and then Silva just turns around and goes back to checking in like nothing happened. Walks back to the desk.
Yeah,
so you figure
room 316, right?
Hopefully that's over. So September 25th, 2016, in Saitama, Japan. This is the Ryzen World Grand Prix 2016. Another super happy, excellent buffet. He's fighting.
Super happy.
Super happy, excellent buffet. He's fighting Minoru Kimura, like we said.
Yeah.
Now Silva is in Kimura's corner.
Oh.
He's in the corner. So at Kimura coming in is 21-7-1. He is favored big time.
Well, I'm sure.
And Silva wants him to whoop his ass, right? So Charles is big underdog. During the intros, Charles is ignoring it, and he's looking, they have the camera on the guy. He's looking into the camera going, "Hey, Candylay." Calls him Candylay, by the way, not Vandylay. Calls him Candylay. He says, "Hey, Candylay, remember I knocked you out. You remember that, Candylay?" Into the camera, talking mad shit. He's got the gold teeth in, grill, looking like ODB at his finest here, okay? So during the ref instructions, when they're in the middle, they're supposed to be staring each other down. This Kimura is looking at him normally. Bennett is not ignoring the referee, ignoring him. He's just got his face in the middle of the camera, talking shit, going, "You hear that, Candylay? Candylay, blah, blah, blah." He turns to Kimura and goes, "You remember when I knocked Candylay out?" And then turns back to the camera and goes, "He remembers." He's just talking all the shit in the world.
He remembers.
While they're doing this, Silva's in the corner making the throat slashing sign, like, "I'm going to fucking kill you." He's doing that. He does shake Kimura's hand. He's very good. Shake your hand. They go off. The fight starts. They come from the corners. Kimura tries to leap at him with a kick, just leaps at him with a flying knee, and Bennett whops him in the jaw and knocks him down. The fight's over in 7 seconds.
Wow.
7 seconds. Popped him, knocked him out of the air, jumped on top of him, started beating his fucking ass. Fight over. Ref jumps on top of it, stops the fight. 7-second fight.
How fast does he go into talking shit to Vanderlei again?
He picks up the mic at the end of it.
I love it.
Stands in the
Spits
middle of
some
the
rhymes,
ring.
throws some bars at him.
And has a speech for Vanderlei. He has a speech for old Candylay, and here it goes. In their own words, quote, "Where's Candylay? Candylay, for the record, you know what happened in 2005. That's why you're still salty. That's why you're still trying to come get some of this. But you can't get none of this unless you put it on a contract. You put it on a contract, then you can get some of this. Other than that, every time your big steroid head ass see me," and then he starts running around the ring and laughing, "I'm going to keep running." He actually says, okay, I'll quote him, but I'm uncomfortable. He actually says, "Every time you see me, I'm a fast nigger, I'm a run." And he starts running around the fucking ring is what he says, actually. I cut that part off, but it's kind of important.
That's awesome.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Context
is everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then he runs around the ring laughing, and then once they get backstage, Silva's waiting for him. And there's pictures and video of them being separated as Silva tries to murder him, and he laughs at him going, I knocked you the fuck out.
See, man, it's the laughing. I'm telling you. You can't laugh at it. I mean, you can. It's
this
fun.
Guy's just so fucking enraged. He's so. If you could see him in that hotel, he's like, I gotta kill this guy. He wants to rip him apart. It's amazing.
I've laughed in so many guys' faces that wanted to fight me. It's the greatest thing in the world. I don't know why it works, but it will set the least angry man. It will turn him into a monster.
If he thinks he's much tougher than you, and you have knocked him out in the past, and you keep taunting him about it, it's going to make him even madder. That's what I mean here. So. February to March 2017, he loses his next 2 fights. This means he's on a huge high 7-second win, which there's a million articles out there about this impressive 7-second win against a good fighter, and so he loses the next 2 fights to non-linkers.
He can't ride waves, man.
Nope.
He's no surfer.
Not at all. He's up and down. He fought Cody Stevens in March, who he looks like. This is a really deep reference, but he looks like Jake the Milkman Milliman, who was a shitty wrestler in the 80s in the AWA in Minnesota. It's a really deep reference. There's about 4 people that are going to get that, but they're going to go, holy shit, he does look like Jake the Milkman Milliman. He's this kind of has like a crew cut and a big beard. Okay. He doesn't look impressive at all, but he beats him. One is in the UK and one is in Cleveland, which are way different. Now he's 30, 32, and 2.
Same weather.
Same weather, yeah, pretty much. Same dumpy weather. Yeah. Now we have an in their own words because Kimura, the guy he knocked out in 7 seconds, wants a rematch.
Really?
He wants a rematch.
He wants another piece of that?
Yeah, he does. And Charles Bennett says in their own words, quote, I don't know why he wants a rematch. Slept this dude in like 7 seconds. Stupid rematch, stupid corner. Maybe he'll lose in 10 seconds this time. So that's pretty fucking funny. Kind of like that. Now, currently, what he started doing after this, because this was in 2017, was his last MMA fight, he started kickboxing.
Oh, God.
Now, so let's get into another sport in your late 30s that you have no experience in. In April of 2017, this month, very recently, he had a fight in China where he's knocked out cold with a flying knee in under 10 seconds.
The one that he combated earlier, he couldn't do it this time.
He couldn't do it this time. Some Chinese guy in a I don't know if it's a Chinese guy, but it was in China.
Somebody in a skirt knocked
his
him
ass out cold with a flying knee because he's not a kickboxer. That was his first kickboxing fight. Unbelievable. So what does he do? He starts talking shit about Conor McGregor.
What?
That's his thing in the papers now on the internet. No, he did. Well, he just wants attention. Shit, if he fought the guy, it'd be his biggest payday. He could go, I don't know, do something with himself.
You could probably catch $1 million for that,
Pay for lawyers. He says, we have an in their own words on this.
Okay.
In their own words on Conor McGregor, quote, he ain't shit. I'm a Diaz fan, so you should know about how I feel about him. The UFC tries to make Conor McGayer, he calls him.
My God.
A replica of me, but he ain't shit. You know he does not possess the characteristics I do. No, he's a winner.
Yeah, that's
the character. He's a winner, and I haven't seen him be arrested for strangling a pregnant woman. So he doesn't possess
coke.
Or sold coke. So he is. Probably doesn't possess those characteristics. That is the first honest thing he said. Good job, Charles Bennett.
He ain't like me. No, you're right.
He's not. He's not. Yeah, he's successful.
Right.
That's the difference. And I haven't seen him in prison on and off. And he is not living with his grandmother, brothers, drunken girlfriends, and
if
an
he
uncle.
is, it's because he has several houses on his property and he paid for them all to live.
And they live there, and he can kick them out. They don't kick him out.
They all live very comfortably.
Put it this way: no one unplugs his washing machine mid-cycle.
Nobody touches his washing machine.
Now wash that shit.
He doesn't even use the washing machine.
No.
He's got somebody paid to do it.
Bet your ass. So if you are looking for Charles Bennett, you'd like to interact with Charles Bennett out there, he's on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
He is at Felony is me.
Oh, my God.
That is his handle, which I wouldn't have it any other way.
No.
At Felony is me is his handle.
There's the second most honest thing he said.
Again, so you can get a hold of Charles Bennett.
Wow.
The Krazy Horse. Holy shit. That's our craziest guy since Dotzik, I think. What do you think?
I don't know. He didn't kill anybody yet.
No, but he's just insane.
Yeah, he's got some real problems.
He's fun.
He's a mess.
He's not fun for pregnant women.
Yeah, no.
Brothers, girlfriends.
Amber's not thrilled with him. She's not having a party.
He was fun to research because I got to watch a whole lot of crazy short fights and shit like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing the forest video.
Yeah, watch the video of them in the hotel. Yeah. That's really funny. Of Vanderlei and him arguing in the
He's
hotel.
pressing buttons.
Him talking shit. And him in the hotel explaining how the first fight went down with him. That is so... He lays down on the ground to demonstrate.
Get out of here.
Oh, no, he's not in a chair. He's like, I was like this, and then I'm like this, right? And then I pop up. He acts out the whole thing. Even he goes to the door holding the handle, kicking, like, I'm like this, kicking.
That's so good.
It's hilarious.
So good.
So that is Charles Krazy Horse, Kid Chaos, Felony Bennett.
Right.
Or Felony Charles Krazy Horse, Kid Chaos Bennett, to be proper about the whole thing and show him the due respect.
Right, that he deserves.
Wow, what a fucking mess. Holy shit. Now, at this point, we're going to go to some shout-outs in a moment. But before we do that, I must encourage you once again, please, if you haven't yet, get on iTunes and give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. We don't care.
I enjoy Coke.
I enjoy Coke. It just helps us a lot on the business end, and it's a wonderful thing to do. And also, if that's not enough for you, please get on patreon.com/crime and sports. You can make a donation or go to PayPal for a one-time donation. Our PayPal there is crimeandsports@gmail.com. Yeah. Also, too, if you'd like a shout-out, we have... you can get a hold of us on social media at Crime and Sports on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports, crimeandsports@gmail.com. We have some fine people here that donated to us this week and have just been generally awesome people that we would like to thank. Jimmie, you got that list for us?
Yes, Lacey McClure donated to our PayPal. We have Althea Fung. Victim's Voice is an advocate group, I think, that donated to our Patreon page.
Or
That's
just
fucking
somebody
fantastic.
with a cool name. Thank you.
David Stanish and Sarah Doctor. Thank you all very much for donating.
Thank you guys so much. You guys
we
rock.
have Benny Thomas in England. He's fantastic. He actually messaged me, and he has a boy that's autistic and really enjoyed your rant about autism.
Thanks, Benny. Thanks, man.
for listening,
I'm with
Benny.
you, brother.
Jonathan Hines in Iowa, Kenneth Howard in Findlay, Delaney in Australia, Justin Reeder. He is a fan of, who the hell was it? I forget. God damn it.
Oh.
And I can't read my own writing.
That's the problem.
Morgan Martin at Dirtbag Dane. He came from Time Suck, and so he's a big
thank you.
Dan Cummins
and
fan.
Thank you to Dan Cummins. And everyone should listen to Dan Cummins' Time Suck podcast as well, because it really is fantastic.
It's great. At Waterboxer, who tweets so many amazing pictures. Thanks for making us.
Gets a lot of people to listen to us,
he
too.
does,
He's spreading the word like a champ.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is what the Crime and Sports movement...
That's what it's about.
It's all about.
Yeah, that's what we started this for. Biscuits at Wisco Inferno, at High Key Cat Lady. That's Lala. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Hillary Banks, Lisa Jones, and Jared H. in Cedar Hills, Texas. Thank you all so much for listening.
Hillary Banks, is that a reference to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Ooh.
Wasn't that the one sister, Hillary?
That's a hell of a question.
I think that was the one sister, Hillary Banks.
It might be, or maybe she was actually named after her. I'm not sure.
Tweet at us and tell us,
We'll
Hillary
find
Banks,
out.
please. Thank you, guys. But thank you guys so much for all of that.
Thanks for interacting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this. It's really great to have you guys on board and to have people that actually give a shit about this. It's been a blast.
Thank you, guys. Honestly, this whole thing where we've been holding pretty steady on the charts with both Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder, and we owe it to you guys, honestly, because we come in and make the show either way.
Right.
Whether anybody listens or not isn't really up to us.
Right.
So
that's
thank
all on you
guys.
So thanks for doing your part and listening and being
we
a part of
can't tell you how great it makes us feel and just how appreciated it is. You want to give them your social media, Jimmie?
At Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Tweet at me, follow me, snap at me. It's fucking great to have you guys along. It's really fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. And I'm at Jimmie P is Funny. You can find me there, or you can try to spell my last name, but I suggest you just cut and paste from the show description. Don't get crazy, okay? Let's not be a hero about this whole thing. But do that, follow us, interact, and we'll talk back to you.
Can't wait.
But thank you guys so much. And that said, live from the Crime and Sports studios, we will see you next week.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.